he wanted to know about probably one of the best riots, I guess you could say, or craziest ones. I'll this is one, right? I ain't gonna say what prison, but it was the Bulldogs and the White Boys. The Bulldogs and the White Boys. More in particular, the Woodpile, because the Whites, they kind of got broke up. They got the skinheads, the motorcycle, the biker white boys, then the regular old white boys, them the Peckerwoods, and then you got Nazis. But you got all type, but they're still broken up. So it's when it's a situation with the white race, they normally be, they still all come together because it's still a fight. So, man, this particular time, man, they got canteen, right? You get 3 draws. If you're a certain number, like say you from 1 to 30, you might be first draw, meaning you're gonna go to the store, the canteen, the first week. Then you might be 30 to 50. Then you're gonna be second draw, second week, and then all the way to 100 for the third draw. So since we always going on lockdown, if a major situation happen, man, and we go on lockdown, people gonna starve. Ain't nobody gonna see no visitors. Man, we don't want to go on lockdown. So out of respect, and then on top of that, if a situation is gonna happen, you don't want other races to get involved. Like, picture this. Like, there's the whole yard. There's hella different races all scattered over the yard. And if a black take off on a white across the yard, this whole yard is about to erupt. Like, bam. So to prevent it, you do things like you let the white shot caller know, hey, we about to get on our own today. Or the Mexicans will put out word today, they type folks, hey, we about to get on somebody over there, so stay away from that area. So I hate to say it, but motherfuckers telegraph. Like, they'll be on the other, they'll be like, don't do nothing over there. It's about to be cracking over there. So then motherfuckers will walk to their side of their area. Like, if it's the Sac area, the Stockton area, whatever, they gonna go to their area, they home base where they post up on the yard, and then watch. If motherfuckers telegraph, you can look at the yard and tell when something's about to happen. So, man, but these slick ass white boys, I got to give them props. Man, they dropped a rumor, right? Because they know that motherfuckers gossip. They know, I ain't gonna say no niggas gossip, but they know motherfuckers gonna tell. So they used the rumor system and spread a rumor that they about to get on one of their folks, one of their own, right? And they was gonna do it morning yard. So and that yard recall. So at the end of yard recall, we all looking at these white boys. All the brothers that got to the side, we all looking at these white boys like it's gonna go down, right? But don't nothing happen. Because they've been spreading this rumor from first draw all the way to now it's third draw. And this is like the last day. So we've been waiting. Everybody been piling up, getting hella soups and shit. Man, next thing you know, don't nothing happen. So then we go inside. We was like, yeah, that was a false alarm. They was playing this shit. So everybody's guard go down. So we go back out that afternoon because yard is 10 o'clock to 11. No, 9 o'clock to 11. And then we go in, and then we come back out at 1 o'clock. And then we stay out till like 3:30. So when we come back out to this afternoon yard, everybody's guards was down, right? We playing basketball. The Bulldogs is playing in a damn tournament. I can't. You know what? Yeah, I think it's a tournament makeup game. No, I can't remember if it's a tournament game, but they playing basketball with us. They should be playing with us. I mean, especially if one of them didn't had a disagreement with the Bulldogs over these bars. They ain't tripping because they've been telling everybody that they about to get on one of their own. So the temperature is not focused on the Bulldogs whatsoever. So we out there, it's about 2 o'clock. We balling, I'm on the basketball court. We in the heat of the game. Next thing you know, it was like a wave of white boys just came on the basketball court and just started getting on every. Okay, Bulldogs are Mexicans that are from like the Fresno region. That's Bulldogs. Like Northern California, you got Norteños. Central California, you got Bulldogs, and in Southern California, you got Southerners, Southsiders. So, well, the Bulldogs, they used to be cool with the Southsiders, and they ended up getting their own places and own institutions because they ain't cool with nobody. But this particular yard was their stronghold. And they was getting into it over the bars. They was getting into it. And they was getting into it over the bars. And because blacks have bars, Crips have bars, the Bloods have bars, the Bay have bars, but really it's black, Mexican, white boy, others. But there was only like three, and it was a disagreement, like who gets what. But that was going on behind the scenes. So I guess in the white boys' mind, they like, well, fuck it, we'll get y'all off this yard altogether. And man, when they took off on that basketball court, I seen they meant business because even the Bulldogs that was out there with like crutches and shit, even though them crutches and shit turned to be weapons and shit, but they was stabbing even them up. I'm talking about, I had no idea what was going on the yard because I was so involved in this basketball game. Man, these white boys had made their way. They was stabbing Pisces too. So that means they was stabbing the Bulldogs and the Pisces, because the Pisces and the Bulldogs is really they two separate entities in prison. But the white boys was getting it. They was Mexican. You can get it. You speak Spanish. You can get it too. And man, when it was all said and done, the basketball court was actually like the last final hurrah, because they had put in work all over the yard. There was Bulldogs laid out. I don't know how the tower didn't see what the hell was going on. I don't know how, but they managed to just systematically work their way through the whole yard, stabbing and stomping out every Mexican on that yard, every Bulldog on that yard. And then the basketball, because it's built in a circle. It's built in a circle similar to this, but it's built in a circle. And then it's lined because it's a 180 design yard. So it got the catwalk and it's surrounded by the buildings. But it's no way in hell 4 buildings and the catwalks did not see these white boys going to work. And man, they did their thing. When it was all said and done, the yard finally went down, and I respect the white boys. They didn't make one move toward not one black. It was serious. And they so what ended up happening is when the yard go down, and they just started getting the gurney, bringing the gurneys. They're like, we need a gurney for this one. We need a gurney for that one. We need a gurney for this one. Man, they ran out of gurneys damn near. They had stabbed so many Bulldogs. It wasn't even. It got sad after a minute. But man, that shit happened at 1 something, 2 something. Man, we was still out on the yard at like 6:30, 7 o'clock because they had the process. That was just too much, man. So as far as like the worst riot, that's not the worst one I seen, but that was absolutely the most cleverest one I seen. The most cleverest. They said we're gonna get our own. Made other races pile up, thinking that they was about to get their own, and they was really gonna get the other Bulldog, Mexicans from Fresno all the while. That was slick. They used the rumor system against motherfuckers. Dirty with it. One time in Solano, the Pisces did their thing too, real quick. They got into it they was plotting on the blacks all the while. We had no idea, man. They was playing soccer next to where the blacks kick it at, and they kicked the soccer ball over to the blacks, right? And so I guess when a nigga threw the soccer ball back to them, they grabbed the soccer ball, and then they put the playing again. Except this time when the soccer ball came toward where the blacks was, it was a whole wave of Pisces, and they was with all the business. Man, it was blacks walking around Solano with slice wounds for years after that riot because it was sad. I mean, blacks was going to help blacks and getting sliced up themselves. It was a dude who had a slice wound all the way from the top of his face all the way down to his chest, and then from the top of his head all the way down to his back for helping somebody else. That was ugly. Shit. One time the Asians got into it with the Northerners, and the Asian dude, well, he was like a Northerner slash Asian. That's what it was over. But he got his eye stabbed out. I'm talking about like some shit out the Simpsons, like some shit off of motherfucking Family Guy. Like that motherfucker stabbed, boop, his eyeball came out. His name was Puka. Puka said he could, when the eye came out, he said I talked to him afterwards, he said he could see still. Like the eye was out of his head, but he could still see. That's crazy. Hey man, appreciate y'all taking the time to listen out, man. Don't forget, man, donate to the channel, support the growth, man. Support the growth, support the channel, man. I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate y'all comments, and I see that my channel is booming a little bit, man. I appreciate that, man. Please don't forget to donate, man. The link is in the description, man. The link is in the description. I'm advancing slowly, but I'm getting there. Thank you, and thank you. And thank you again. Dirty with go. Once again, what's up with my subscribers, man? So I had a couple questions that people asked me, and one of them was about what if I'm a non-affiliate and I come to prison, and then why or what is your experience with the skinheads and white gang members and all that? So it's like this. When I knew it was real about the green light on white gang members, when I knew it was real, in 2000, I was in the hole for attempted murder. So in 2000, the way the yard is in Salinas Valley is eight buildings. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to 8. But in the middle, there's a wall. So basically, you have D1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have D5, 6, 7, 8. But they're two separate operations going on. But D1 is the hole, D2 is the hole, and then on the other side of the yard, D8 is the hole. So anyhow, enough about the holes. But anyhow, so I'm on the hole on the said we doing our regular working out. All of a sudden we hear, get down, boom, boom, get down, boom. Man, they busting. I'm talking about they busting like it's a full scale riot. We have no idea what the fuck is actually. Yes, 2000. We have no idea what's going on over there in the yard. We can't see. All I know is it's bad enough to where the pepper spray from D2 yard that came all the way to D1 yard got us on the mini yard outside the building. We on the yard with our shirts. We done dipped our shirts in the toilet water. Yeah, the toilet water, and we got it wrapped around our face, trying to not choke to death from the pepper spray. Because on the way they do the ass egg yard is once you outside, you outside. Ain't no in and out on no ass egg yard. Once you outside, unless you get your ass beat or something. So when we found out later, man, they just started bringing hella white boys to the hole. I'm like, man, what the hell? What did happen? We thinking it's blacks and whites or something. So we find out what happened. Man, the white boys allegedly then sold they Crip homie. Excuse me. Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna say it like that. We just gonna say they let the Crips let the white boys have the white Crip. I ain't gonna say where he's from, all that. All I know is that for a couple of TVs and a bag of canteen, they was like, go ahead. And some of the white boy Crip homies, they didn't go out like that. They fought with the white boy Crip. I think they was from Compton, but they fought with the white boy Crip. But for the most part, other ones kept back, and them white boys went to town on that white boy Crip. I'm talking about they stabbed him, stomped him, everything you could think. They said the number was like 40 on the white boy. Fucked up. So when I heard that, I was like, why it happened? They said, man, it's a green light on all active gang members. I was like, damn, that's real. That was almost up there when the structure North Daniels and the New Flowers fell out. Shit go happen that you don't understand. I was young, and I was cool with all the structure North Daniels and all of them. I didn't know there was a war going on. Same thing with this white boy Crip. I wasn't knowing that it was green light until that happened. Once that happened, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's real, man. Just in the time that I was in Old Folsom, it was a riot with the skinheads that got kicked off because they took off on the crib from the white boy crib from Fresno. Then it was a riot with the white boy Kumi that they took off on. Then it was riot. See, when you get to Folsom, they got fish roll. Fish roll. Man, that motherfucker there. I'm gonna tell you about fish roll, man. When I first got to fish roll, I was hearing all these stories about Old Folsom. Man, I was in the cell with the homie Braves. The homie Braves. Where the fuck was homie Braves? But anyhow, I was in the cell with the homie Braves. Man, I looked out my cell and all I was seeing was Mexicans. And I was hearing these stories and everything was lining up because I wasn't really seeing no niggas. What it was, I was in the back, so I didn't know. But I'm thinking it's real. So my mattress was a spring, one of them. I was tripping off the fact that they was giving us springs to begin with, because you ain't gonna see no type of spring, nothing on no level 4. Man, I told Braves, get the door. Man, I got the busting the spring down, took that motherfucker out my bed, got the sharpening that motherfucker. Me and Braves going to chow strapped, because we thinking it's hella Mexicans and not too many blacks. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. But the whole time I was on fish roll, I was strapped up like a motherfucker. Then when I come off a fish roll, man, there was so many motherfucking blacks. I was like, damn, what the fuck was I thinking? I was in war mode, coming from a level 4 war mode, and it really wasn't even built like that. I probably never made another knife in Old Folsom, maybe like one or two, but that's it. So that was my take on Blood Alley. On my other video, that was my take on Fish Roll. That was my take on white active gang members. My experience. Now it's not. I heard it's not a green light on white gang members, so you'll be all right. Now the last thing I wanted to address was squares. If you hit the pin and you, it happens all the time. Somebody that come from a good background, mama love you, daddy love you. You might even had a job. Somebody come from a good background, man. Mistakes happen. So if you find yourself in the pen and you a square, first and foremost, know this: if you gonna hold your own, if you got heart, you gonna be all right. If you know who you are as a person, you gonna be all right. It's strength in numbers, of course, and people are always looking to recruit. But if you know who you are as a person, you all right. So what normally happens with squares when they come, if they're not a blood, they're not a crib, they're not a Bay Area, they're not none of that shit, then what happens is you find people like yourself. Yeah, it's a phenomenon, really. How the people that are squares find each other and they form clans, which is not to say that they gonna all fight, but they find a camaraderie amongst other squares. And not to say nothing bad or nothing like that. So don't worry about it and don't fall into the religion trap. Because a lot of squares they come, and like I say, square is not a bad word, but a lot of them come to the pen and they go to the religion. They get recruited by the religious trap. They either become Muslim or they become Christian or whatever. But a lot of them end up, finding people like themselves and being all right. As long as you don't let nobody punk you, call you a bitch you out. Because if somebody bitch you out, then there's somebody in the cuts waiting to bitch you out right after that person. So hold your own and you'll be all right. I'm a square. I'm a square. So think of it like that. Man, every time I tell my wife I'm a square, she be like, cut that shit out. Cut that shit out. But no, man, I'm a kid. I'm a square kid at heart, man. I like all the square shit. All the square shit. So, man, that's my take, man. I rambled long enough. Dirty weather. Go.
day at work, making video. See if I put it out. See how it comes out. There was another subscriber that had asked me, oh my god, I got cut right there. He had asked me to tell a story of funny shit that I saw in prison. First of all, what's funny to me, fucking mouth overload your ass and never bring.
Once again, what's up with my subscribers, man? So I had a couple questions that people asked me, and one of them was about what's happening with my subscribers, man? How y'all been, man? Shout out to the new subscribers, man. You know, the word has been getting around, man. Dirty Weather 916, making progress. I've been at this consistent probably since like January. And you know what? The feedback is been nothing but positive, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate the homies that tap in. I appreciate the people in faraway places that check me out. I got a shout out from England. I said it in one of my raps long ago. London go no. As I sat up in the hole, thought local, self-worth global. So, man, to go with my good day, I want to see out in California when you buy the weed at the dispensary, that motherfucker come with the name of the weed, the THC levels, and the warning, Surgeon General. But it's a trip because I don't know. But this ain't about weed. This story right here, man. Hey, this is when I learned about lockdowns, and how real it gets when you've been in a cell for 24 hours a day, only coming out to shower once every 3 days. It's all type of mental things, mental changes and processes you go through the minute they say you on lockdown. It's like, damn, it's like a switch that happens. Damn, I'm on lockdown. I gotta watch. First thing you do when they say you on lockdown is you think about, damn, I got about 5-6 bars of soap. I got a couple packs of toothpaste. I got about 3 deodorants. I got about like 2 cases of soups. I don't care who you is. As soon as you hear we on lockdown, the first thing you do is think about what you got in your cell to survive the lockdown, because it gets real the minute you find out. So anyhow, man, I'm 18 years. I'm probably 19, but we hadn't been on no serious ass lockdown in this pen. This is Salinas Valley. We hadn't been on no lockdown for like the whole time I've been there. So far, it's probably like 7-8 months. We've been on like some little stuff, but this particular day, man, they came to. Normally, we walk to breakfast. If all of a sudden they say we're not walking to chow, 9 times out of 10 something that happened, and everybody starts asking around, like finding Mac reps or finding anybody and asking what's going on, because everything ceases on lockdown, like I told you in one of the other posts. So this particular morning, man, we didn't even eat until hella late. We knew something was gone because all programs stopped. No school, no doctor's appointments, no type of appointments, no porters out. We knew it was bad, right? So then we looked on the news and we saw what happened. We wasn't supposed to see what happened, but we kind of figured it out, because back then, this is before cell phones was in prison. So the only way you was getting some communications out is through the police or through the state phone. That's it. So nobody's gonna know what's going on, and you're just not. So anyhow, but we seen on the news that an inmate has stabbed a free staff. A free staff is somebody that works inside the prison, but they're not a police. They're a free staff, like the cooks. And in this particular situation, a Southsider has stabbed the cook. That mean, you just don't hear that in prison. But this is in 1990. This is in 1998. You just don't, or is it 99, 98, 99? But you just don't hear like that's like somebody going to a doctor's appointment in prison and stabbing a doctor. You just don't hear that. But we seen it on the news, so we thinking, okay, that's the Mexicans, the Southsiders. They didn't done their thing, but we gonna be cool. Hell no, it did not. It did not turn out like we thought. They came and they said that because what happened first of all, let me go back. So the Southsiders, when you go to breakfast in the morning, a lot of times kitchen workers, they leave around like 2:30, 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning. So this particular morning, I guess it was supposed to be a hit on the police, and they came in or whoever, and they came green light, and they came in and shit got on the freestyle. So as a result of that, they locked the whole prison down. And then I had never seen this before, but they came and they systematically was raping every yard because one of their people got stabbed, and they went on the internet. There was stuff on the internet saying that it's a green light on the police. So all the police is spooked at this time. They ain't trying to do nothing considering that for their life. So anyhow, they go from CR to DR. They search the 180 yards. Then they coming for us, man. Listen, man. When they came and they searched our cells, they took everything, even the stuff that was legitimately yours, your property, man. They stripped. They call it stripping you down to state issue. They took our radios, our TVs, our clothes, extra clothes. They took everything. Back then we had tapes. They took the tapes. So then, man. So anyhow, we have been on lockdown for so long. We have been on lockdown. I think it was about 8. It seemed like, let me see. Well, I think we was on lockdown about 8 months. 8 months. I think, and it still continued on, but like 8 months. It was so bad. When I went on lockdown, man, I was healthy. I was eating hella soups. But man, when we came off of lockdown, I was built like a greyhound. Everybody was built like a greyhound because everybody's food and cosmetics, they shit had been out. It was so bad. People was selling soups. Back then, soups was 20 cents. They was selling soups for $1 or 3 for $1 when we come off of lockdown and you go to the store. It was bad. It was so bad that me and my celly, we were taking one top ramen and then taking the food from dinner and then putting it all in. We was putting everything because survival became like top priority. So we put our whole meal and mix it with a soup. And if we had a soup, and then hope that it sticks to us, because man, it was bad. It was so bad. The homies D Hunt and Wardell was upstairs. Man, we was fishing for the few scoops of like vegetables off of their tray. That it meant that much for them to fish. Now fishing, like I said in another post, fishing is like you gotta take an envelope, put like some paper in it, put a hole in the envelope, like rip it, punch it with a pencil or whatever. And then you take some string from either your sock, your boxers, because boxers got string, or from your sheet, and then you tie it through the hole. And if you're on the upstairs, when you slide it, it's gonna float and it's gonna go over the tier. And then we're gonna hook up and slide our little envelope with a little staple on the top of the envelope to grab the fishing line. So we slide our envelope out and then pull it back in, and we fishing vegetables. I mean, we fishing rice, just the state issue amount of rice. That's how bad this lockdown was. So, man, when I came, listen, when we came off the lockdown, this is how traumatized we was. Man, there was an Indian dude, right? Because this is before I knew politics. But there was this Indian dude.
Am I going to get a job with SB Academy?
Yes, you will. All right, buddy, so what's your name and where you from for the people that don't already know or haven't seen the first part that we just got done doing the other day?
Dirty Weather 916 from Sacramento, California, Del Paso Heights.
Del Paso Heights, Sacramento, California, ladies and gentlemen. The story that you told us on the last episode was pretty damn wild, man. We kind of jumped right into the damn.
Pretty shitty, huh?
Yeah. We jumped right into a crazy situation. We didn't really get into the details on kind of. Well, you told the story of what led you to prison, but I kind of like to do a little backdrop. A little backdrop. I like to rewind a little bit and kind of just get an idea of who you are as a person and kind of get an idea on how you survived going into prison or jail county for the first weeks. Those are very important to some people. You said in the first one, of course, you're a blood. Were you doing that on the streets beforehand?
So my neighborhood, where I'm from, it was almost a given that you was going to be a blood. If you wasn't playing sports, then it was a given that that's what you was going to be. So
really?
Like in my hood coming up, we got into it with other bloods. So I didn't really meet like Crips and stuff until I moved to the South area in Sacramento, and then I seen some Crips and knew what it was about. But even then, being a blood growing up, my mind frame was different because I had white friends, I had Hindu friends, I had Asian friends, North Daniels, Paisa friends. So growing up, I got along with hella different people. So I realized with gangbanging, the amount of growth that you can get was limited. So I had Crip friends too. So I wasn't really one of them ones that was like, that had hate in my heart. I didn't have hate in my heart like that like somebody, one of my homies might have had.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said that, if you grew up in your neighborhood, if you weren't an athlete, you were probably going to be gangbanging or something along those lines. I mean,
or selling dope.
What?
He was going to be a dope dealer, a gang member, or athlete. You ever heard of Ontario Smith?
Ontario Smith?
He played for the Vikings.
No, I mean,
State. He's from the neighborhood.
Yeah. You
ever heard of Shaq Thompson?
Shaquille O'Neal?
No, Shaq Thompson.
I know, I'm just playing, man. Yeah. No, I don't watch sports, man, so I don't know. Who's that guy?
But he come from the neighborhood too, from Del Paso Heights.
And he plays sports.
Yes, the options are limited coming from my neighborhood. Period.
Why do you think that is, though? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why do you think that? Do you think that like gangbanging is more along the lines of just like a cultural thing?
First off, let me say this. Gangbanging in my city is played out. I don't know how it is in other places, but gangbanging in my city is played out. It's entirely different. Like gangbanging on Bloods and Crips and stuff, it ain't like that no more. Like I'm a blood, but I'm a dinosaur. Like I'm a dinosaur. Now everything is cut up and it's about cliques. What clique do you belong to? And who do they mess with?
Yeah. So
the gangbanging aspect in its original form has been mutated in my city. So it's kind of hard to answer when you say gangbanging, but when you say like what's wrong with the youth and the activities that they involved in, yeah, then I can answer it like that. So what happened is the generation that I was talking about, that gap. Remember I was talking about that gap, the generational gap. Most of them went to prison. And there was a divide. Some of them chose to go left or right. Now, right would have been to stay, like what I did. I went right. But some of the ones that went left, they became like the heads of all these subset cliques now. And that was the beginning of the change of gangbanging in Sacramento. Like all the original gang members are all like 40 years old or better in Sacramento.
Yeah.
40 years old or better. You won't find really too many young dudes saying that I'm just a blood or something like that. They're going to be from their neighborhood plus something else.
Yeah.
Everybody got somebody locked up that's trying to put something in their ear, but those people became less and less.
Yeah.
Like I got my uncle, he first got locked up in the 70s and he's still kicking. So I go to him for knowledge, but I had a bunch of uncles when I went inside to learn from my mistakes. But these youngsters out here, they don't really have that because they picking up guns at such a young age that what you gonna tell them what to do? He got something that'll levitate you. So how you gonna He gonna let. Okay, I'll give you an example. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me give you an example. I was at a gas station about 3 days ago, and I seen an OG talking to two kids, and something just said, "Go over there and tell them your story. Go over there and tell them your story." And come to find out, these two kids had ran away from a placement that I was in when I was 9 years old, and I began to tell them my story. And at first, they was listening because they was out there asking people for money. And at first, they was listening, but after like 5 minutes, I realized that I thought it was a little boy, but it was a little girl. And after about 5 minutes, it was like something snapped. Bam! It's like, I'm done talking to you, bro. I'm done talking to you, and that was it. But that be on repeat because they don't want to hear it no more like that. You have to come. You got to get creative with your delivery to these youngsters nowadays, or they're not going to hear nothing.
It's kind of like a thing I like to call apologetics, man. Yeah, you gotta come at them a little differently nowadays, and that's with a lot of things because everyone knows everything nowadays. You know, everybody's the all-knowing, wisdom-filled individual. Exactly. You know, so I mean, yeah, you got to approach things differently. All right, that gives me a little better of an idea of what you went through growing up, man.
But don't let me sit here and act like I was a saint.
Yeah,
because I was carrying guns at 15 too.
Yeah.
So and put like this, this is something that happened a long time ago. There's no chance of it ever coming back to me like that. But I broke into a pawn shop before, and in this pawn shop, it was hella guns. We took the gun. We ended up doing it. We ended up doing it, getting away, and all the shit, right? But it wasn't until about like a year later, I was telling my war story to my celly, and he was like, "Bruh, a pawn shop? Don't they got jewelry in there?" I was like, "Damn." That just shows you where my mind frame was at. I would rather go get all these guns instead of getting all these jewels that would change my life.
That's what my crazy, man. That's a crazy story.
Indeed.
That is a crazy story, man. That goes to show you exactly where your mind was when you were a young man. That's crazy. All right, so well, tell the people really quick one more time, just in case it's their first time seeing it. What'd you go to prison for?
I went to prison for robbery when I was a kid.
Okay.
And the thing about robbery, like back then, it was Pete Wilson. You ever heard of Pete Wilson?
No. Wait, baseball player?
No. Pete Wilson was the governor of California. And back then, they was making examples of youngsters. Like, they was seeing youngsters get locked up at like 14 years old, getting sentenced to big boy time.
Yeah.
So I got tried as an adult for robbery, but it was multiple robberies. The thing about that is if you rob one place, then
Please.
When you're a minor, I have yet to find a minor that was in juvenile hall that said that they went to the law library.
Yeah.
Never. So just think, if you get tried as an adult and you go to by the time you get to the big boy time and where you really going through some shit, it's already over. You bang because you've been in juvenile hall playing video games and playing the activities that they got, playing basketball. So by the time you really end up against it, it's too late. You taking whatever they throw on the plate. So, anyhow, so I go to the county jail. I first get there, right?
County jail. Were you ready? Were you prepared?
You know what? I was rider in juvenile hall. Rider meaning somebody like that was gonna fight quick. Like I would take off on you, or if somebody took off on me, we gonna get down. So I had a reputation in juvenile hall already. So when I got to the county, I'm like, ooh, these is grown ass men. I'm seeing them push up on people. I'm saying, damn man, I hope they don't never push up on me like that. So then I get in my first fight, right?
Well, I mean, before your first fight, does anyone know who you're running with at this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, I'm from the Heights, and they know that my hood is Bloods.
Uh-huh.
But it's Oak Park, it's the Heights, it's Meadowview, it's all these different blood hoods. So now we really gang bang. Remember I said I was on the streets where I was able to move about freely?
Yeah.
Well, now we really gang banging though. So I'm seeing these dudes that I'm normally getting into it with. Now we forced to be in the same area together. So this dude, so basically, I'm gonna just get into it, right? So my partner comes into the pod, right? This dude, I know him from the streets. He's a Samoan dude. I mean, he's a Tongan. You guys got Tongans and stuff out there, Samoans and Tongans?
No, I mean, we do, but I mean, if they are, they just keep it to themselves. No one really asks them, you know what I mean?
So they like that. They like South Pacific Islanders.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them in California.
They're like a whole group or car in themselves. Okay, yeah.
It's like a nation. There's Samoans, and Tonga. So anyhow, man. So my partner comes in, and my partner's a Crip. I'm not knowing that it's supposed to be separated at all. I'm not knowing it's like this. So I immediately go shake him, embrace him. But all the other bloods in the pod was looking like, it was like, what the fuck? It was like, where your partner from? I was like, TCG, Tongan Crip gang. It was like, TCG, Tongan Crip gang? It was like, oh, nigga, he got to go, right? So basically, they told me because that's my partner, I got to get him because he can't be here. Because I'm not knowing it's separated. I'm not knowing coming from juvenile hall, 18 years old. I'm not knowing that it's Bloods is here and the Crips is way on the other side of the chill, the west side. It's a little different now, but the Bloods used to be on the east side. I mean, the Bloods are on the east side, and then the west side used to be Crips.
Big Lots has big deals and big convenience with fast same-day or 2-day delivery and even faster curbside or in-store pickup.
Now it's like now because of what I said about the mixing things. Now it's all messy.
All the different sets and shit.
Yeah. Now it's all different now.
Yeah.
But back then, automatically he gotta go. So they push up on me. They really like pressuring me. They like, you gotta get him, and I folded. I told him, I went to the blinds and told old boy, my partner, to come to the blinds. We're about to fight, right? And he basically turned it down. And in my mind, I'm thinking since he turned it down, that's like a dead issue. But what ends up happening is he rolls it up. Y'all call it roll up out there?
No, we don't call roll up. We just check in. But hold on, hey, let me rewind it. You say your homeboy. You're about to fight your homeboy?
Yes. He's not from my hood. He's from a Crip neighborhood. Remember how I said I moved?
But he's your homeboy, and you rolling up on him regardless because they're pressuring you.
Because the other dudes is pushing up on me, making me do it.
Seen it many times. Seen this situation many times, my friend. But
yeah, I don't know. These is grown men, and I really don't know coming from juvenile hall. So they pushing up on me, and I feel the pressure. That's why I called him out. And he was like, basically, no, I'm not about to fight you. When we went inside, he checked in, he hit the button. So in my mind, I'm thinking that's a dead issue.
Yeah. So the Crip's out. The Crip's gone.
So the Crip's gone.
Yeah.
Let's get going. Dead issue. So that night, okay, so once he moved out, then they moved me upstairs. So I'm upstairs with my partner.
You got DP coming, don't you?
He telling me when we wake up, yeah. He telling me they was calling somebody up here one of them things, like a disrespectful word to call a Crip. I ain't on that page, so I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But they was yelling up there, calling somebody, and I knew my celly from the streets. So he was like, man, they was calling somebody up here one of them things, and I know it ain't you, and I know it ain't me. So I'm confused. So when I went downstairs, man, it was a dude, man. It was a dude. The dude that was bullying everybody, he was like, man, you didn't get the Crip, dude, so now you got to go. I'm like, I gotta go. I'm like, nah, hell no, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't gonna do that. I knew enough about rolling up. Like, why I'm gonna roll up? Because he rolled it up. So anyhow, my big homie from my hood went to his door and was like, look, my homie is not a Crip. My homie is not a Crip. I'm from Del Paso Heights Bloods. And I'm sitting there, man, I ain't even got no hair on my face. Can you picture that? So so the dude would not back down. So my homie was like, well, you just gonna have to fight him. I'm like, okay, it's nothing. I'm nervous as shit. But I'm like, okay, it's nothing. So I give me a little soap on the rope. You guys got them, the little soap on the rope.
Yeah.
Put the little bars of soap in the sock. I put that in my little waistband. And I go to dude's cell, right? I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna. I go to his cell, right? I go, hey, how long we gonna fight for? You know what he told me? He had socks on his hands, right? He had socks on his hands.
Oh, that's scary, man. When you see him put the socks on, bro.
Man, look, God. He said, don't worry. I'm gonna make it short and sweet. I was like, oh shit, man, it's all bad. He about to murder me. So I have to hang out. Like once everybody lock up, I stay out because we about to fight in the blinds. So when the door opens, the doors make this sound. Click, 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 click. When they come around,
yeah,
man, when it got to his door and it opened, it was like, it was like my life flashed before me, but I was in life or death mode because it's
tunnel
way
vision.
bigger than, man, he like 23. I'm 18. He been YA everything. He gonna kill me like he killed the other people I seen already. Not literally kill, but
yeah.
smack about like 2-3 people.
Yeah.
So when the door opens, I'm swinging with everything my little 18-year-old ass could muster. I'm hitting him with the windmill, like everything. So when he ducked back, he hit me with a Dugan. I'm talking about, even though I was hitting him, he hit me with that one. It was like, bing! I'm telling you. When he hit me, you see the video games where somebody get hit, they be like, bing!
Like Mike Tyson knockout.
Man, when he hit me, we ended up locked up, though. That woke my game up, though. But we ended up locked up, and I had him pinned against the wall with my shoulder. But he had me wrapped under here, and when he squeezed me, something snapped in my arm, right? When it snapped in my arm, I'm like, oh, shit, my arm broke. So somehow they separate us. When they separate us, my shoulder was like this. Like my shoulder was hanging because from him just squeezing me into his body.
Brute strength, bro. I be trying to tell people now.
Man, like I was done. Then he come back, right? Because I'm sitting there, I'm helpless. I can't do that. He tried to dope fit me with a tray. Bing! But I had an afro. So the tray bounced off my afro and get back on him. So he literally trying to do me like I'm a crip, right? But he mad as shit. Because when he was squeezing me, and I had my shoulder in him, I was hitting him with the uppercuts, like bing, 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 bing. Hit him hella times in his face. So he mad about that off top. So when it was all said and done, I stood my ground. I didn't turn no fade down, and they couldn't say nothing about it. And I ain't going nowhere. But my shoulder, on the other hand, when I get back to the cell, I'm trying to get my celly. All I can think about is Lethal Weapon. That's all I can think about. So Mel Gibson when he got the dislocated shoulder and shit. So I'm on the wall, right? I'm trying to bang, but I'm about to pass out from the pain.
Oh, so it's dislocated.
Yes. So unfortunately, for the first time in the history of my career, I had to push that button. When the police came, they like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, I'm having shoulder pains. They said, "What happened?" I hit him with the classic. I fell off the bunk. They said, "Oh yeah, another one of those, huh?" I'm like, I fell off the bunk, man.
They might believe that though with the shoulder, you know what I mean?
They know the business. They know. I mean, this is county jail, and they know that we ain't about to tell on ourselves like I just got in a fight. We ain't about to do that. But I'm sitting there looking like a teeter totter though. So they take me to the outside hospital, fix my shit up, and that was that. I come back, but when I came back, that was when I felt my little chest. My little chest was like this now.
So they put you in the same block.
In the same block.
Good
I
shit.
fight a grown man now. You can't tell me nothing. I used to fight kids and stuff because I was a kid. But now they have some grown man stuff, and I ain't turning nothing down. So then the very next spot, I end up going to court, coming back, and then I go to another floor. When I get to this floor, my reputation from the other floor is that little guy will fight. That's it. That little guy from the high school fight. And the next thing you know, I ended up getting my first knockout. Dude, we ended up having words over somebody that had passed away but was alive, and he put it on his dead homies. And if you put anything on your dead homies and it's not true, you better be prepared to fight.
Millions of Californians breathe levels of pollution that can put their health at risk. 100% of California is now in a drought.
I'm going to get some water now.
All right, buddy. So what's your name and where are you from for the people that don't already know?
Dirty Weather 916. I'm from Sacramento, California, from Del Paso Heights, Bloods, to be more specific.
Okay. Dirty Weather 916, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people probably already heard of you from your YouTube channel. And we'll talk about that later on. But obviously over here on 23 and 1, you've been to the pen, man. How long you been? What'd you go for, if you don't mind me asking?
My first bid was for robbery, and I did off of 18, I did 17. And then the second time I went was for possession of a weapon in a situation that I shouldn't have ever went because I was defending myself, but I ended up going back. So a total of 20 years though. It was like 23, 24 months. So basically it was like 17 and 2. So it was 19, damn near 20 years.
Man, you got spared for having a gun as a convicted felon? I think over here it's like mandatory 5.
What?
Yeah, 85%. Actually, they're about to change Virginia's down to 63%, I believe, in 2020. I think sometime the end of this year. I'm not sure.
So what California got is basically they got they got a hot special. I know in Sacramento, it's that 16 doubled up to 32.
16 doubled up to 32.
32 months. That's
pretty
much what you're for being a felon in possession. Now, if you using that in the commission of a crime, that's something different.
Don't they be hitting y'all with like gang enhancements and shit too?
If they can prove it, yeah.
Yeah, if you're registered or whatever.
Yeah, my situation was a little bit more domestic. Like he pulled a machete. And I pulled that. So at the end of the day, even though I beat him up and we have fisticuffs, I had to hit his mom with a 3-piece and a biscuit. And I'm not to brag, but she was sitting on top of the person that I was with about the ground pound, so I did what I had to do. So with all of that being done, they didn't get charged with nothing. Like the son and his mom didn't get charged with nothing, and I ended up going back. And they ain't charged with no battery or nothing, but I went back for that pistol alone.
Okay, and see, this is what I don't understand about the gang enhancements, man. Maybe you can clarify it for me. Maybe you can't. I don't know, but how did let's say you're registered, man. They got you in the book as you're a known gang member. Validated. There you go. That's the word I was looking for, man. So you're validated. You're in the books, and you commit a crime that has nothing to do with any kind of gang shit at all. Is it chances are going to be if you had a gun, you're going to be hit with some kind of gang enhancement?
They got to prove. One has to prove the other. Like you can just get caught with a gun, and now you get caught with a gun. Now, if you was in a gang neighborhood or something, or there was known tension, and they can prove that you had that because you was ready for the opposition or something like that, maybe they could try, but even that would be a reach. They want to see you with pictures and guns, and I don't know why people do that on the internet, but take pictures with guns and stuff and think that they're not going to have to answer for that.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I want to speak on what you just said too, but so it's not always gang enhancements, even if you are validated.
Yeah, nah.
Okay. See, I always thought like, hey, shit, you get hit, you're validated, you get hemmed up, you're getting gang enhancement for the shit too, unless it was something like a domestic or something like that, you know.
You get into a brawl in the middle of the mall. Oh yeah, you getting all type of gang enhancements.
Okay, yeah, that shit's crazy. All right, man. So, what you were saying about not posting guns and stuff like that on social media. Look, I just read an article this morning in Maryland. I believe it was 3 rappers got convicted for murders because of the rap lyrics, and they took it to Supreme Court or something, and they passed that now in Maryland you could be convicted based upon your lyrics. And that shit
wow.
Crazy. Yeah, so now, he was pretty much convicted because it kind of matched the crime scene, the caliber of the weapon and everything in his lyrics. But I mean, there's a ton of guns out there with a 40 caliber, you know what I mean? And I read the lyrics and shown, I'm not going into detail on it, but man, they're hemming people up for the slightest shit. They without hardly any evidence at all.
Man, that's how they did X-Rated.
Yeah, man, that shit was crazy, huh?
That's how they did X-Rated. Took his lyrics, but his lyrics really wasn't the crime lyrics.
Yeah.
But they still used it because it was familiar with what had happened actually. So
Shit's
they
wild,
can
man.
use it as evidence. They can and will.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
So-
People need to change it up a bit, you know? It's like, I did a video the other day. It's like some of these guys just ain't learning from the past, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think? Why do you think that is?
I think because there's a gap. There's a real gap between the past and the present, and that gap, a lot of people were gone. A lot of people were in prison, or a lot of people gave up. So really, you have a generation that's having to learn off of social media. Period. And if you see negative stuff on social media, I mean, yeah, that's what's raising our kids nowadays. But the actual people that was gonna take a stand and say something and do something, man, they're getting lesser and lesser, because the more they see that the youth don't care or the young don't care, it's gonna only get worse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. This is real shit. When I first hit prison, I was wild. Like my first charge was attempted murder in prison. That was my first charge that I actually got caught for.
Yeah.
And I kept on going, but I was wild as in a gang banging mentality.
Who we give our dollars to is who we give our power to, y'all. We got to stop giving our money to people that don't look like us. You see, black people, we have a buying power of over $1.6 trillion. That would make us one of the top 20 richest nations in the world just based on our buying power alone. So we're really a nation within a nation. But we got to bank black, y'all. One United Bank is the choice. They have options and opportunities for us and features that allow us to get our paycheck 2 days early. Hello, somebody. They also allow no credit check loans for.
Wow. And then I learned about how to get my money inside, how to get my money selling whatever, doing whatever. I learned that. And then gangbanging became less important as getting this money. So, but to answer what you were saying, like if people need to know what they're getting into before they actually partake. Like, what are you willing to give up to partake in this life? Like, are you willing to give up your freedom and do 20 years? Are you really willing to do that before you take these actions? And if you are, these are some of the things that you have to think about. Mind you, when I first hit the main line, well, not first hit the main line, but in Old Folsom, right? Old Folsom is a prison that has like 5,000 inmates. At any given time, you can have like 1,500 inmates on the yard. 1,500. So there's no hiding nothing, no hiding. And man, gossip go like pew, pew, pew. So the thing is the trade, the hustle trade. I'm not going to necessarily just flat out say drug trade, but I'm going to say the hustle trade. When you seeing everybody having things and doing stuff and smoking weed, and sometimes you get tired of buying like 50 ball after 50 ball. Like, is that what they're called? What they call it in like Virginia and stuff?
50 balls. It depends. Just call it 50 bag, 50 sack, whatever the case. You know, they got different words. Actually, I'm trying to think of the main word they used in there. Shit. They had a different word in one of those compounds that was.
I shouldn't have fell for that one. So when I came home, I took that time as a chance to work on my mind. So I came with a plan, and that plan was I'm going to be famous or I'm going to be known within 1 year. And sure enough, I went on divorce court first.
Yeah.
And then Big Herc, then Steve Wilkos. And a lot of people go on these shows, but they don't have a platform after that. They don't have nowhere for their fans to go, the people that are interested in them. They don't have no place for them to go. They was just on TV one time, gone. Just on TV, then gone. My thing is, I'm going on TV, and I'm going to give everybody a platform to come to continue the story. It's like watching half a movie.
Yeah.
So now the movie has been continuing.
That's cool, man. You know, that's what's up. And I haven't seen your episode on either of those. I don't know if I'm debating whether or not I should watch it before you tell me about them or not.
I will say this.
Let me ask you one thing, man, about both of those. I got many questions. We will talk about them in the next episode, but one question: how was Steve Wilkos, man? Is he really an asshole in real life, man?
Man, Steve, an asshole.
He looked like an asshole, man. And they still show that show?
Yeah, hell yeah, it's on there. Williams versus it's called
No, I'm saying
I'm
saying, do they still make new shows? Like, is it like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I'm glad to see you out doing your thing, man. And ladies and gentlemen, he mentioned all the stuff that he has going on right now. I'm gonna make sure that everything's linked and pinned in the comments section, description of the video if you want to go follow him and listen to his wild stories over there on his channel. Is there anything else that you do over there? Do you do any interviews or anything like that? No.
I definitely do interviews. I interviewed. You ever heard of a rapper named Pooh Man?
Pooh Man?
Yeah,
nah, I don't keep track of too much of the rap game as recently. You know.
Oh no, he old school. He old school. He had a song called "Fucking with Day" back in the days. But I interviewed a lot of positive people in the community. People that got out the pen, that got a positive story to tell. So it's a lot of positivity going on. I got the weathercast, and what the weathercast is I bring some subs on, and then I bring people that I can vouch for in my life. I bring them on, and I allow them to conversate with people from the other side, because most of my friends have done like 15 and 20 years, or had life sentences and came home. And people are interested in what their mind frame is like. So I provide that bridge with the weathercast for all walks of life.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate you coming on to the show.
Let me give my shout outs one time.
Go ahead, roll with them.
First off, let me get a shout out to all my subs, the whole Dirty Nation. Shout out to the Wrench Mob. That's what we call my subscribers. My moderators. That's the Wrench Mob.
Wrench Mob. Okay.
The Wrench Mob. I want to give a shout out to y'all, past and current, because without y'all, my channel would be 2 times harder. I want to give a shout out to Nate Dogg, 916, the homie. I want to give a shout out to Drina's Haven, 916. That's my girl. That's her YouTube channel. I want to give a shout out to Crazy Nick Stories, up and coming, doing his thing. And first and most of all, shout out to Big Hurt for providing this foundation.
Hell yeah, Big Hurt, man. He's one of the godfathers to this thing, man. You know?
You better believe it. What's up with y'all, man? The upper cuffs. Yep. G Money, G Code, Matt, what's going on with y'all, man? All right, man. One more thing. We are going to go to a playlist. Let's see which one. Let's see, how many? 15. All right. It's a message for all my bros still in the struggle and those who assist and walk by them. Thank you, and don't give up on us. The many injustices taking place behind them walls in the name of job security, so I just wanted to shed a light on the field so you can understand the evil that men do. Due to all these laws changing, men and women are coming home lowering their entire CDC population, meaning less inmates equals less money equals less jobs. So how do they counteract that? Right now, they're forcing general population inmates to integrate with protective custody inmates, all the while knowing the outcome will be major conflict leading to the denial of lifers' release dates due to circumstances they had no say or part in. More inmate denials mean more money in their pockets. So put 2 opposing parties in a cage and forcefully start them Basically, put them in a bowl and watch them fight, and whatever happens, happens. Next, start DNA testing policing again. You'll see the evil that men do. You guys voted for Proposition 57, and they're improperly dictating the way it's being carried out, imposing rules and laws to counteract impending mass release. Also, in the visiting rooms, they have vendors who sell us and our families $7.50 salads, $7.50 for a small container of fruit, $5.25 for 4 little chicken wings, and buying in bulk from outlet stores like Dollar Tree and 99-cent store, then reselling in prison for inflated rates. Again, forcing people to visit for 8 hours drinking water due to economic inflation. And final, in closing, I'm free. I am free. I'm so happy. So happy. I'm going to do it. I'm going to survive. But shouts out to Harvey Levins and TMZ. We love y'all in there. What up, Van? KurtHam.com. Excuse me. KurtHam Facebook. And Dirty Weather IG. Hit me. I've been sharing stories and it's been seeming like it's one way and all that. But don't get it twisted, nigga. The stories where niggas took L's and shit. You know, one time, I was in Solano level 3 yard, it goes down. It goes down so much, nigga, I came from a level 4 to Solano, level 3. And nigga, I was in a hole in 2 weeks for a ride with the Southsiders. So, on top of that, we was on lockdown for riots with the Northerners. So every 90 days, somebody has to mandatory come off a lockdown. Every 90 days. So we was guaranteed a riot every 90 days, either with the Southsiders or the Northerners. And this is in 05. So I ended up catching a staff assault. That's a different story. But I catch a staff assault. I'm going to the hole for about 11 months. So I get back on the yard. I went the homie up against the wall, the homie from the hood, and I'm letting him hear some of my songs and shit. I'm letting him hear, my shit. I've been in the hole right, check me out. So all of a sudden, we up on against the building. All of a sudden, a pack of like 5 Southsiders, they come around the corner. But they would understaff escort because we on lockdown already because they didn't, I guess the blacks and the Southsiders got into it on the basketball court. So after so often, you gotta let them off of lockdown so they can move around, control movement. So that's with an escort, no cuffs though. So when they come around the corner, I see him. I'm telling the homie, I said, "What is it? Northerners or Southsiders?" He was like, "I don't know." I said, "Well, shit, I'm on for him." So they go to the building like they about to go in the building because the police about to let them in the building. Next thing you know, man, the ones in the back, they got to whispering some shit. I seen it though. I told them, watch. Next thing they broke. Bam. One ran at me. When I seen a knife, shit, I ran at him like, man, fuck this shit. All in the neck. I slipped. I mean, I was helpless. So I seen a knife. Shit, I ran at him like, man, fuck this shit. Nigga, he ain't about to cut me up. So nigga, I ran to him. We start thumping. And I slipped. When I slipped, he got on top of me. He was trying to give me the business. He was, man, it was a tug of war with the motherfucker with his wrist because he was trying to, So next thing you know, I slipped. I mean, I was helpless almost. Next thing you know, some blacks came and helped me, got that motherfucker off me, got him up off me. When we did our motherfucking thing, but still, I didn't even know these blacks that came to help me. Then one of the dudes that was in it was a zebra killer. Rest in peace now. Well, one of them. But shit, he was a legend in that motherfucker too. He did his motherfucking thing. Then there was a couple other dudes. They did their thing. One dude, the drunk dude, he got punched all in his back. They put him in a cell with me in the hole. This motherfucker had blood coming out his eyes, like tears of blood. I don't even know how that happened. But the homie this homie, he was the one I was rapping to. When the smoke cleared, after we was doing our thing with the one that tried to cut me, we go to the side, bam. When the smoke cleared from all the little blocks and all that shit and pepper spray, that nigga, we heard the police went over to the homie and was like, hey, we need a gurney for this one, stat. Man, my homie got sliced, like, he got sliced all in the face, all in the neck, all in the back. So, man, when I seen it, when he stood up, man, he looked like Zipper Face. Zipper Face. Fucked me up. Then when they took me to the hospital, we was passing by. So they had me cuffed up. But they we walking by, and he in the bed. And he moved a little bit, and he had like gauze on his neck. When he moved a little bit, man, blood came out. I was like, oh, hell no. So, man, it just like I could do some real shit, or it could get real. It goes both ways. Dirty way go. So it be lessons every time. One time, man, I was cold, being young, not knowing. It's a such rule again called gambling on your ass. So it start like this. So the dude, I was gambling with my Hoover partner, and man, I'm hitting him. It's about to be yard time, but I'm hitting him. I get up like $100. So he come back, but I asked him, I'm like, if you give me up $100, how much you gonna charge me? He said, I'm gonna charge you half. So I blogged that in my mind. He charged me half. That's cool. That's a real nigga. So next thing you know, a week go forward a week. Now we shooting again, but this nigga gets me up $100. I'm like, so I got like $50 canteen and shit. So my credit line to 100. This nigga give me to like 150. I'm like, I got 75. It's nothing. Then this nigga give me to like 200. I'm like, shit. And they about to call yard. And I ain't about to be able to get my money, get my issue back. This nigga's up on me. And so when he go to the yard, right? Cause he's like, I gotta go. The homies. It's a meeting. I gotta go. So, man, when he gets back from the yard, cause I got all the $100 ready for him. They don't open the door. They don't open the door. I want to set it out. Man, he come back in like, check this out, homie. I need everything. I need all the money, everything, every dollar. Now I'm like, first of all, you're not supposed to be gambling on your ass in prison, period. So I'm in trouble, basically. He tricked me. So he's like, I need everything. So you can unplug your radio, give me all your CDs. Man, you can get, man, all that, every Walkman, all the shit. I'm feeling like I just got straight robbed, and I did. It's crazy. So, man, I ended up having to have the homies from Anthony's help me pay off my little debt. Man, I had 100. So I thought I didn't think I was gambling on my ass with that $200 credit line. I didn't think so. But, hey, man, when the homies found out about that one, man, they had me running laps till I looked like Kunta Kinte. I'm talking about like the whole yard. But at the same time, I should have knew better. I shouldn't have trusted his ass to honor what he said. We shooting dice, we gambling, it's up in the pen. People strike when they strike. But hey, that was the first time I got disciplined, and the only time in prison I got disciplined physically. Never. But working out, yes. No. So, Young Dirt here with prison stories again. I don't tell these stories to like glorify. I'm telling you, I don't tell them to glorify. I tell them because I know there's somebody out there that can benefit or learn from my experiences. That's it. That's all I want. I don't want no money. I don't want none of that. I want somebody in motherfucking Croatia to be like, yeah, I'm about to change my life.
Because you're looking at somebody that they gave up half their life for motherfucking prison. Half their life for living that life. And hey, I ain't got no regrets, but at the same time, I feel it's people that can learn from what the fuck I've been through and what I be talking about. So, this story in particular, I ain't gonna say what prison it is because it's a story where I took an L. So anyhow, man, I'm gonna tell you about this spot though. First off, when I pulled off from Salinas Valley, which was one of the most violent level 4 prisons in California, I finally got my points down. When I first came to prison, I had 59 points. Man, 52 points and lower, you were level 3. It took me 8 years to get from a level 4 down to a level 3. 8 years. It's sad. So anyhow, as soon as I pull up to my very, very first level 3, we on lockdown already with the Northerners. We are already on lockdown because the Northerners, we got into it over a motherfucking soccer game. Soccer ball game, man. Shit. Motherfuckers playing soccer and shit. It get a little, it'd be aggression as things coming out. One of them got to woofing, and the homie flatline, bam, knocked him out. His homies did what they were supposed to do, and they got active. But while that ride was going on, niggas was in the gym taking their shit. They were taking their motherfucking pants and shoes and shit. They cell phones. So, how would you feel? You come off a lockdown. This nigga walking around the motherfucking yard with your motherfucking jeans on. With your motherfucking shoes on that your mama done bought you. Shit. Man, the motherfucking Northerners niggas set it off again. They didn't do no plans. Down with the Northerners because they got to come off a lockdown every 30 days. Excuse me. Every 90 days, they got to come off a lockdown. Really, it's every 6 months. But every 90 days, somebody got to come off lockdown because I'm at the weight pile with the homies. We working out, getting our good money. And then we look over by the canteen, and the motherfucking Southsiders then took off on all the OGs over by the canteen going to the store and shit. So being a YG active, we work out. The YGs work out together. So next thing you know, then shit, we go straight to the motherfucking incident. We get to going crazy up in that motherfucker, but really, it was a diversion because nigga, one of they motherfucking shot callers got pin cushions somewhere over on the other side of the yard. That motherfucker, the tic-tac-toe, that motherfucker had tic-tac-tac-tac-tac-tac-tac-tac-tac-tac-tac-tac. At the same time, they didn't took off on us. So it's we ain't even knowing it's a whole bigger picture. But at the same time, shit, motherfucker came out that motherfucker white powder did that goddamn thing. So fast forward, I'm in the goddamn cell. We on lockdown because we got took off on, so we ain't gonna lock us down like that. So anyway, I'm in the cell. The homie let me use his use a DVD player, and the other homie let me use a cell phone. And then I got weed, I got lightning, and I got hella shit up in this motherfucking cell. I got a square ass celly. So anyhow, man, I had the celly from that riot with the Southsiders. I had the celly up in the cell with me. He was a Crip. He a Crip, but he up in the cell with me, and it's all good because we just got to some racial shit. So it don't even matter. It don't even matter that we cooning, we gangsters up in this motherfucker. So I told him, I said, man, watch this shit. When we get back to the line, I'm about to do a big. Watch. Man, sure enough, this motherfucker pop up on my cell because he the wine man. He pop up at the cell with some drink. I'm like, shit, nigga, slide me a motherfucking cup. In prison, if you gonna slide somebody a cup and they in the cell and you outside, you take like a plastic bag, like a Ziploc bag, you pour it in the bag, and then he slide it, shimmy it through the side of the door. So I got me this cup of drink, I'm on. I got the phone, I got the DVD player, I'm on. Man, because he kept coming back and looking at the motherfucking cell, and you know, you listen to the word to little birdie, because the homie that was outside whose phone I had, he kept sending word in like, bruh, send my shit, bruh, send my shit. I got 50 motherfuckers coming to the door, like send like the homie on his shit. So, but this is my first time on the cell phone in prison. First time, so I ain't in a hurry to give it up like that. But you know, out of respect, I gotta wrap it up. But anyhow, police come to the door, and then Solano, they hit the light. And they hit the light. You know, they can turn on the light while you in the cell. While you in the cell, they can walk up and hit it like and see you. So I'm in the back in the cuts watching the porn or whatever. And that motherfucker light come on. I look, the door open. I'm like, oh shit. I'm talking to my girl at the time. I'm like, I'll talk to you later. So I put the phone in my pocket. I walk up. She like, we need you to. It's a female step. She like, we need you to step out. We need you to step out. We need to search your cell. So I stand up. I had 2 sticks of weed. I grabbed the motherfuckers and eat them right in her face. She like, you going to potty wash too? That's another story. She like, you going to potty wash too? So anyhow, I step out the cell because I didn't already put the phone in my pocket. I didn't ate the weed. I'm worried about DA referrals. That's what I'm worried about. So when I get out the cell, I face the wall. I'm facing the wall for about like 0.2 seconds, and somebody called her. When somebody called her, I hit. Boom! I'm running across the day room. I'm running across the day room. The bitch chasing me. She like, why you running? I'm like, bitch, why you chasing me? Shit. So I run up the stairs. And go to a motherfucking cell. I try to slide the phone up under one cell, but the phone, like, it was the cell door, it wasn't big enough. So I slide the phone up under this other cell. Wasn't nobody in there, but the phone go up in the motherfucking. By that time, the police came up the stairs on both sides. They spread me. Man, so the first time I had to really like do something. That was the question somebody asked me. So the first time I had to really do something on the line, the older homie said that he was going to basically give me some pruno. All I had to do was save up my sugars. So I saved up my sugars faithfully. I'm running around asking people, buying them. I want sugar. Sugars come in the lunches that they was giving us, the state lunches. So if you get the sugar, you save it up, you get enough. If you want to get like 200-300 packs, then you can make you a batch of wine. So I was saving for a week. So when it come time for him to give me my issue, he talking about I had to pay the debt I owed the Crips. So I'm like, man, but what about me? Man, I went in business with you. And you just go disregard me like, little homie, get up out of here? I was like, all right. But I took it on the chin because he's the older homie from the hood. I took it on the chin. So I'm like, man, but fuck it, I want to drink still. You know, I'm still biting into this illusion of this magic prison pruno. Man, so I do it again. Because I'm like, he ain't going to do it twice. He ain't going to play me. Man, when it came time for him to come down, I went to him. He did the same thing. He said, man, I owed them dudes, man. I owed them. I ain't got none. I'm like, hell no. So I go back to the cell steaming. I told my cellie, man, this motherfucker didn't play me twice. He was like, what you want to do? I said, I want to do, so go with me. So I said, I want to rob him. So he was like, what you going to do? I said, when we go to the chow hall tonight at dinner, we're going to push in front of everybody, in front of all the other owners, and then I'm going to just tell the tower, I'm going to stand in front of his cell with my back to the tower and stick my hand up, and then he'll open the door. Sure enough, it went his plan too. So I shoot back in the building. Bam. I stick my hand up, tower open the door. Man, so when the tower opened the door, shit, I push up in the cell. I'm in there. Now I see Super 3s. I stacked the Clippers. I think I snatched that. No, I snatched the radio, the Clippers, and the hi-fi, some other shit. Remember, I feel just in my actions because this motherfucker didn't play me. Not once, but twice. So, next thing you know, as I'm pushing back to the cell with the shit in the pillowcase, the older homies, D-Hunt, Talon and Wardell, they walk in the building, they like, Blood, what is you doing? Is you playing? I said, I ain't playing. And I go to the cell, close the door. All of a sudden, my cellie come back. When he get back, he see that it's shit up in the cell. He open the door. He like, Blood, it can't be up in here, though, because they gonna come right here if he suspect us. So we take it to the homie DPH. Now, DPH, we just nicknamed him that. That ain't his name. We just nicknamed him that because he had something definitely wrong because he was in the first cell. And in the first cell, he used to keep food on the thing. This nigga had about 50, I'm exaggerating, about 100 flies in his cell inside of a 270 building. I don't even know how that happened, but he had issues. I mean, one time they tried to they moved a dude in the cell with him at like 2:30 in the morning. Right, that's when everybody sleep. And he had been not having a cellie up until this time. So next thing you know, when they opened the door for breakfast, he was walking up the stairs with the sheet to tie and while everybody, because when you go to breakfast, you gotta like stand outside the door and then wait for everybody to get situated, then close all the doors, then you can start walking. Man, while everybody was standing still, he just walked up the stairs with the sheet. Started tying the sheet on the top rail of the stairs. They got to tying it around his neck. And he was like, hey. Hey. Man, they ran up there, tackled him and shit. And he was like, man, I just told y'all I didn't want no cellie. So, the DPH didn't have no cellie no more. So, anyways, back to the story. So, I get this hot stuff. And I give the DPH, like, man, hold this real quick. Hold this. He hold it. I mean, shit, he cool. And we feed him when he hungry. So, man, all of a sudden, the nigga come back. The nigga Marco come back. He go on the set. He say, hey, where my motherfucking shit? He start going crazy. I'm talking about I'm inside my cell looking out the window like, oh, shit. He's like, where my motherfucking shit? Man, next thing you know, the Mexicans start going to the blacks, the white boys, everybody start having little powwow meetings and shit, right? I'm seeing this shit get real. So then they go to the blacks, they go to the homies. Now the older homies see me walk by because I had that shit tucked like an old football or something going in my cell. So they come to the cell, they like, look, blood, y'all niggas gonna have to get that shit up. Cause these Mexicans talking about they got dives and wine and other type of shit up in here, man. And they talking about searching the whole motherfucking building. Blood, you gonna have to get that shit up. So I was like, well, look, it ain't in this cell. I'll give it to him in the morning. Man, I don't know how, but that nigga seen the homie talking to me, and that nigga Marco came to the cell. My motherfucking shit up in here. Open this door. I'm like, he didn't put me out there. Now he didn't told on me. So now I'm still feeling justified in my actions. So when he do that, I have to get a DPA cell open and shit to go so he can set the shit out. So man, next thing you know, I tell my cellie, I'm about to get this nigga. Fuck that. This is my first time doing so. So we go to the chow hall in the morning for breakfast. This nigga Marco there pushed up on the homie with a little pea shooter. Got the homie all spooked and shit. So they was like, listen. Play about the older homie. Situation. Yeah, I woke up, I blew in the goddamn car. His wife gonna be tripping when she come back. Yeah. So we in the motherfucking we're gonna go back to when this nigga came to the door. So this nigga come to the door, bang, bang, bang. Man, my shit up in here. So automatically, he didn't put me on Front Street. Yeah, I didn't take the nigga shit. Now, the lesson I was talking about it is, in prison, you don't steal. I went up in the nigga cell. I stole, basically. You're not supposed to do it like that. If you're going to take it from him, you got to take it from him. But you just can't go in there stealing. So don't think from like the first story, like I ain't going to point that out. Hell nah. I stole, but I didn't know no better. I do now, but I didn't know no better. So anyhow, because this nigga didn't tell the police where the shit was in the cell, I'm like, man, fuck that shit. So I talked to my celly like, what you want to do? I said, I'm about to get this nigga. I ain't never done no type of dirt in the pen. I ain't never done nothing. But I ain't spooked though, because I've been fighting all through juvenile hall, county jails, branch. I've been fighting all the way through, so it's nothing. Even though, but this older homie though, it's nothing. So, man, this nigga, when we wake up in the morning to breakfast, we go to breakfast. The plan is this. Same thing, like how we punched in front of the older homies to go shoot, and I got up in the cell. We're going to do the same thing, push back into the building hella fast, and then be waiting around the corner so that nigga come up in that motherfucker. So, anyhow, me and my celly about to get him. When we go through the rotunda, he go to the right side, I go to the other. But I don't see my celly, man, so I'm like, damn, where he at, man? So as I go to walk across the rotunda, remember, we walked ahead of everybody. But this nigga done caught up. This nigga done caught up to us. So if I walk across this rotunda, he gonna see me. Now, when the chow hall, the older homies was like, son, we know you just coming to prison. We need you to kick back. Just kick back and watch how it goes. I'm like, kick back and watch how it goes. I'm like, this my beef. I'm gonna sit back and let somebody else handle my beef. Man, fuck that shit. So as soon as the older homies gave me them instructions, that's when I went to the other table back with my celly, like, look, we still doing this shit. Let's go. Bam. So we shoot out the building. And then that's how when we get to the building, the plan is he gonna go to one side, I go on the other side of the tunnel, and then we connect. But anyhow, the nigga came by when I was looking for my celly. He was coming through the rotunda. I had no choice. So I got on him. Bing, 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 bing. When I get on him, his lunch go one way, his glasses go the other. I'm on him. But this is my first time. But anyhow, so when the alarm go off, I run around the corner. I dive up under some benches in the day room. I like dive up under the motherfuckers. So when the police come up in the building, they only seen him. They didn't see who got on him. So they was like, man, they grabbed the homie. They grabbed the homie Talton. They grabbed Talton like he did it. Took him into the program office. Took Marco to the program office. And that shit, nigga, as soon as they resumed program shit, nigga, I went back to the yard. So this story right here, this is about the hardest white boy that I ever seen. So I ain't gonna say his name, so we just gonna call him Killer. Killer. So I was in the cell with my step-pops at the time, D. Hunt. Free David Hunt. Free David Hunt out in Florida swamps. Anyhow, man, so I'm trying to get to the yard. This particular day, I didn't went to work. Now I'm trying to get to the yard because I got to go pick up some wham-whams and things. And I got me a couple of caps I'm trying to get off anyway. Somebody's supposed to buy them. So, anyhow, D-Hunt's supposed to get outside already, and I'm going to meet him out there. So I'm at the door. I'm looking outside trying to plot how I'm going to get out because they be acting funny on this yard trying to let a motherfucker outside if you ain't there at yard release. So I'm looking out the window, and this white boy right next to me, and he like, all right, so you trying to buy some weed? But he didn't even look at me. He just kept looking outside like, no, I don't want to buy no weed from you. I'm like, cool. So I get out to the yard. I'm out there. It's a regular ass day. I done forgot about this white boy right next to me. It's a regular ass day. D-Hunt out there. We ain't fucked up, but we done blew a little stick. So we feeling good. Next thing you know, we look up and we start hearing this sound. We hear, if you ever heard somebody get stabbed, this is what it sounds like. I was like, so what happened is the The Blood Alley handball court is right next to the white boys handball court, right next to it. And they was playing handball, right? We just chilling. Next, you know, when we hear that sound, we look up. Man, this white boy killer, they crept up on the white boy. We gonna call him G. Crept up on G while he was playing handball. Jumped on his back, stabbed him. He kept on stabbing. I'm talking about he stabbed him like 40 times. Then on top of that, then after he stabbed him, he took the motherfucking knife, threw it over the wall, came back, and started kicking the shit out this motherfucker. He got blood squirting all over. He kicking him now. I'm like, damn, and me and D Hunt, we like right here. Still, we like 5 feet from this shit. 5 feet. We fucked up. So then the police come. Man, they try to say this dude's life. I don't know what happened. They carted him off or whatever. So then we get back to the cell. Man, we didn't talk for like 2 days. I'm like, D Hunt, man, what's wrong, man? Why you ain't talking? Finally, he broke his silence. He like, son, with a straight face. He like, son, that really fucked me up, son. Just the savage nature of his son. It's too much, son. That was I seen a lot, son, but that was a lot. You know, my young wife, I'm like, shit. You know, it is what it is. You know what happens? It's prison. But when you think about it in my 40-year-old, 39-year-old mind, I look back, I was like, man, now I'm thinking, I'm like, that's some really fucked up shit to fuck D Hunt up, because that's the OG. So anyhow, so fast forward. So about 7 months later, I'm talking to the site, and I tell them, I'm having a bad day. So next thing you know, I come back from the yard, and there's 2 police in front of my cell. They talking about cuff up. I'm like, cuff up for what? They said you was talking about hurting yourself. You got to go to the hospital for a few days so you can rest it off or whatever. I said, oh, hell no. They took me to the hospital, put me butt naked in a schmuck, gave me some motherfucking books to read and shit. And then this dude comes by in a walker. And I looked, man, my face was like this. Man, it was G. He survived the stabbing attack, man. He got stabbed 40-something times and a stomping by one person, and he survived. He survived. But I ain't gonna lie, this is not to mock him, but this is what happened. I said, damn, I thought you was dead. I said, what happened? He said, I got stabbed. So what happened is he turned into a vegetable. I mean, because they can't let you out of prison if you fucked up. Like, if you fucked up, you got something wrong with you, like a serious something, like they want to kick you out the same way you came in. And if you ain't right, they'll keep you. And they kept him in the back of this hospital hiding. Because the sad thing is he was like 2 weeks to go home when he got stabbed up like that. I don't know what happened to him after that, but 7 months after the stabbing, I seen him in the hospital, and he hadn't went home yet. That's messed up, man. But anyhow, so the white boy killer, they put him in a cell with this dude, right? Man, that was my partner too, man. Why he killed a dude in a cell in the hole, and then get on the door and yell, "Get this carcass up out of here!" What? You kill your cellie and get on the door and yell, "Get this carcass up out of here"? That's crazy. So then they actually put him in a cell with somebody else, and they damn near killed them too. Man, that white boy right there, killer. I wish I could say his name, but killer. That's the hardest white boy I know. Dirty Weather. Go.
What's up, everybody? Big Herc, fresh out, and you're tuned into our new series, Prison Stories. You're going to hear a story from somebody who's either lived it, witnessed it, or experienced it. These stories are going to turn the hairs on your back up and have your motherfucking toes curling. These stories ain't no fucking joke. You guys think this fucking is a game? This ain't no motherfucking game. Anything can happen to you in prison. And these are prison stories.
Shout out Money Mike from Lincoln. So, I'm on a level 4 yard in Salinas Valley. 180. So what it is on level 4, you got 270, which is lower level 180. Lower level level 4. Then you got 180, which is like when you get it fresh off the shoe or whatever, they put you, basically that's a boiling pot of the worst of the worst. So they had me on that yard, and that's where politics is at their highest. So I'm at the hospital at CTC, and this Crip from Raymond come up to me, Boo from Raymond, he's like, "Hey man, what's up with your homie that was disrespecting Crips last night?" I'm like, "What's up with him?" He said, man, look, either y'all get him or we get him. And first off, you don't do that. You don't threaten to get nobody else's homie or nothing like that, or it's gonna pop. So I go back to the yard and I tell the homies, look, hey, the crib nigga that said that they about to get on the homie concrete and basically or so the homie Pebble T told us to come outside. Everybody come out strapped. So that whole night, me and the homie Money Mike stayed up making knots. We already had a flat, but we had to take the steak cup, big ass, hard ass plastic cup, and melt that shit down into like a turd. Basically, basically a prison knife is basically when you melt some plastic down. When you melt it and you burn it and roll it, because you take it. Well, I ain't gonna get into it, but you take it and you melt it and you roll it, and then the fire turns it black. So that's why we call it a turd. And then a lot of times when you carry it in your ass cheeks, good into the yard or wherever you gotta go, it might got a little something on it. So that's why this is called a turd. So anyhow, me and Money, I can't get to the yard in the morning. Money Mike is yard crew, so he can get outside. I can't, so I'm mad. I'm pacing in the cell, wishing I could punch through a concrete. I want to get out there and be active because I'm young dirt. So when they let him out early to the yard. They come to me, they come back to the cell. They like, hey, is Money Mike in the cell? Is he trying to come outside? I said, yeah, Money Mike right here, let me out. Man, they let me outside. I had a battery pack and I had the flat. I had the flat, which is an iron flat, like a knife, about this long, but it's flat. So Money Mike couldn't get it outside because they had a metal detector. So I was able, since I came out after the fact, I got the flat. So when I come outside, it's about 30 Bloods and about 90 Crips. And I'm like, oh man, it's going down. So when I see the homie Boo from Raymond talking to the homie Juba from 5'9" Prayer, they like, Boo say he didn't say it all of a sudden. He say, and we out here for you. And you didn't say it. So anyhow, Boo's young homie was like, I take the fade with Concrete, the one that did the disrespecting. So his young homie come and fire on Concrete out of nowhere. Bam, when he fire on him, all of a sudden, Concrete go back, because Concrete big old J-Cat. He go back with slow motion, come back. Boom, boom, boom. He dropped 3. And the homie that took off on him, now we got a whole Concrete back from the dude that just fired on him. So when the homie Teflon grab him and walk him off, we like, nah, man, let him go. The police didn't line the top. Now they got guns, so they line in the top. They ready because they know it's spunky. So then next thing you know, the dude that Concrete just took down, he didn't hop back up off the ground like the Exorcist and came in swinging. Bam! Same thing happened. The Concrete cocked back and hit him. Boom, 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 drop him. But when he did that, my celly, Money Mike, was having words with one of his homies. So next thing you know, he was like, well, shit, what's up? He was like, well, fuck it, it's on. I was in Blood Alley down the way, and I seen the scuffle, but my plan is to run through the smoke and come out on the other end. So once Money Mike go around the table and stab the dude, stab Crip dude in the neck, I come running down Blood Alley. The dude, I ain't gonna say his name, but he was running from the situation. He was one of the dudes that started. I cocked back, tried to stab his throat out, but it went to he got lucky, basically. So then when when he got away, I kept on running. The same dude my celly stabbed in the neck, he's standing around bouncing, talking about what the fuck. So he put his deuce up, I put mine up. He seen the knife, he turned to run, I hit him. Hit him in his side. So then next thing you know, then I see another Crip on the side of him. When I stabbed him in the stomach, it went in, but when he turned around and I tried to stab him in his back, the knife bent. So while the knife bent, I'm on this basketball court, it's smoke, people screaming, gunshots and everything. I'm on a basketball court with the bent knife, trying to straighten it out, looking back at the dude I just stabbed. So anyhow, when I get it straight, when I get the knife bent, get somewhat straight, I seen the dude over on the side, and if you ever in a riot in prison, one thing you don't do is prone out where it's spunky. So he wasn't my homie, and I asked God to forgive me. It's a lot of my homies know this story. It's a classic one, but I asked God to forgive me. But I crawled up over and I stabbed him in his face. But I thought it was an enemy because we're in war mode or whatever you want to call it. So when the smoke clear, I hear all the blood's over here, all the blood's over here. I'm running, crawling through the smoke. I take my knife off, I throw that, and then next thing you know, I'm like, I'm pumped. I'm a young homie, I'm pumped. So I'm like, I want platinum stripes. I stabbed that nigga, I'm calling him off. So next thing you know, the dude that was under the table that I did that to, I'm like, yeah, I stabbed his ass too. Then it's like the record stopped. They all just looked at me like, what? It's like, man, that's the Christian dude. I was like, oh man. And from then on, I looked at stuff a little bit different. Like, I don't say that to glorify that, but I say that to show you the mind frame that we're in. When you're in a level 4 prison, you ain't got no time for no regrets or nothing like that. I didn't see some stuff. Well, I didn't see where two people got a problem with each other and they just stab it out until there's nobody left. So I didn't see situations where people didn't stab each other literally to death. I didn't see situations where people didn't jumped off the tier and ended their life, and I didn't want to be known as one of them. So that's why I was always front line for everything that I could. So then I got to a point, like we was talking earlier, economics. Economics is really kind of what saved me from all the glory shit that I was participating in early on, and getting closer to going home too.
For all the viewers and subscribers who would like to become part of the supporting crew at $4.99 a month and contribute to the Fresh Out channel, this is what you'll be getting. An exclusive look at all up-and-coming Spreads episodes. Learn what ingredients and recipes are used in prison to elevate the eating experience and how to get creative with what's available. Get your name in the credits. By becoming a member to the channel, you are directly helping us create better content, and as an acknowledgement, your name will be shown in the credits of the Fresh Out interviews. You will also gain exclusive members-only access to footage that has never been seen before from our archives, unreleased episodes, behind the scenes, bloopers, and that gritty stuff you guys like to talk about, but we can't really share on the regular YouTube channel. Biannually, you'll also get a commissary package. First 6 months, membership will get an apparel package of Fresh Out clothing, and the next 6 months, you guys will get a spreads package with all the recipes and ingredients you'll need to bust that fat-ass spread. Last but not least, as an additional perk for supporting the channel and helping us create bigger and better content, all members get an exclusive discount code to use in the Fresh Out commissary store. You'll receive 10% off all orders, no matter how big or small, and this is for unlimited use. Not a one-time thing. You'll get to use this 10% whenever you want, as long as you're a paid member. All this will be available in the community tab for all you paid exclusive members. You will also get to represent the Wig Splitter crew. All members to the channel will receive this dope Wig Splitter badge icon that appears next to your name whenever you post on the channel. I've got your back on the open talk, and we'll go to answer your questions as a priority. And sometimes, man, you just got to represent. We also support nonprofit charities. After YouTube takes their cut of the $4.99, we will donate a percentage of all membership revenue to worthwhile cause every quarter. Well, that's it, you guys. We hope you guys take that step and become a paid member and support us so we can travel to your state or your town and do an interview and keep bringing you this dope content. But remember, guys, the channel's still...
Hey, what's happening to all my subscribers, man? This is a downgrade because my other phone, due to marital conflict, that phone met its untimely death. So anyhow,
I ain't told the story. It's been about a week or so. I just been dropping randoms, but I've been trying to adjust. I mean, I just touched down back in Vegas, yesterday morning after being in that Georgia stuff, and even though I was back in Georgia for like a week, I mean, like a month. That month seemed like 3 months though. I went through hella shit, and then having to drive, looking over my shoulder all the time. Look, it's in Atlanta. It's hella Challengers and Chargers. Hell of them, and that's what the police be rocking. They be rocking them Chargers and shit. So every time how they be running places, I be running headlights, looking in the running headlights. Who is them? There's a hella Chargers and Challengers in Atlanta. But anyhow, so now I'm back on the West. Now I can smoke my weed and get to doing me, and dropping stories and funny shit on y'all, because that's what it's about, man. I ain't being myself. I ain't sharing with y'all. But man, I do need help trying to upgrade this equipment though. So once I can figure out what kind of equipment I want, I'm gonna try to do better about it, because it's a process. But anyhow, this story is about the time, man, I had to turn it down. The police, I had a fair one with the police, free one, and then my cellie turned it down. Anyhow, so check this out. So the homies on the yard, right? They done got into it with the police at Canteen over some beans, right? The motherfucker had, if you get rowdy or loud at the store when you going shopping in prison at the canteen, what they'll do is they'll try to take shit back and refuse your store. And we be on lockdowns and shit, so we be starving. So motherfuckers ain't doing no plan when they come out when they come out to go to the store and shit. So the police was like, I'm not giving y'all beans. So it was a tug of war. Tug of war turned into a motherfucking a wrestling match on the yard. I ain't gonna say the homie's name, but it was a homie that was right there while the homies was tussling with the police, right? And it's a situation where you gotta ask yourself, what would you do? But the Crips looked at the homie, was like, ain't you gonna help your homies? Man, the homie said, man, there's got to be a better way. But in the pen, you're supposed to go. If they sell them with the police, too, that's the serious part. If niggas get into it with the police, you ain't got no choice but to get into it. That's kind of unfair, but that's what it is. So, anyhow, as we in the cell, me and my cellie, I got the crazy ass cellie, man. He hella emotional, hella extra, too. But we trying to get out the cell. We can't get out. So he started dissing the police. Pink booty motherfucker. Pink booty motherfucker. And then the police, shit. This motherfucker said, what cell is that? What cell said that? My cellie said, my cell motherfucker. My cell motherfucker. I'm like, oh, he said, crack that door. We supposed to be on lockdown. That motherfucker said, crack that door. He said, come in the office. Man, we walked around the whole building on the door watching us. Man, we walked around the corner to the office. We went up in that office. He was like, what's up, man? I'll take both of you motherfuckers right now. I'll take both of you motherfuckers. What's up? Come on. Man, at the same moment, the bitch in the tower opened the slot to the top of she opened a slot to the top of the room, like they can see, open the thing and look into the room. She cocked that mini 14, then got to aiming it. I was like, man, I told my cellie, man, fuck that shit, nigga. Come on, let's go. Let's get it. She cocked that motherfucker, said, give me a reason. And in my mind, I'm like, man, fuck that shit. But my cellie said, man, we went back to the cell. We turned it down. I was like, so, I mean, it was a lesson learned, but I was willing to go. I was going to go. But if I would have went with my emotions and all that, not thinking, yeah, how can I explain two niggas beating up the police? She'd have shot the shit out of us. She'd have shot the shit out of us. But at the end of the day, I ended up respecting that police and the motherfucker, because they don't do that shit. This motherfucker said, crack that door on lockdown, because the homies done got into it with the police on the yard. And my dumb ass cellie, out of emotion, he gonna get on the door and get the disrespect of the police. Man, almost talked us into a murdering. Hey, dirty one, gone. Man. What's happening to all my subscribers once again? Each and every one of y'all, everybody that comment, all that. Good, bad, I don't care. As long as you comment and tune it in. Man, I appreciate y'all. So, I made it back to California, right? The first thing I did is, man, I went to Barstow, which is like, as soon as you get outside of Vegas, it's like the first big town you're gonna run into in California. Man, I was in Barstow with that motherfucking door open, getting my motherfucking driver's license. Florida robbed me for my shit. But in Florida, right, like I said, if you got insurance and you got license, if you don't pay your insurance, they gonna take your license too. They gonna take it both. So you just gonna be driving one day, they pull you over, pull over, you gonna gladly give me your license, like, nigga, my shit, all that. And they gonna come back and cuff you up like they did me. So now I'm back. I got my L's again, and my tags are legit. So on that note, we gonna have a motherfucking ice house. Cause I don't really drink hard beer like that. But we gonna have an ice house on that. And I'm gonna finish the story about this motherfucker Lil Daddy. There was somebody in particular that got at me that wanted me to finish that. And I'm gonna be honest. I didn't finish it right away because it's hella emotions attached to that motherfucker Lil Daddy. Because he did me worse than anybody did me in prison. He did me worse than anybody did me. And I'm going to tell you why. So, when I pop up on Solano level 3, you know, Lil Daddy kept following me around and shit. He kept following me around talking about, you know, don't you remember me from Salinas Valley, man? You used to look out when you used to come around doing the sports sign-up stuff. I was like, no, I kind of remember him, kind of don't. But he hanging around, man, and he realized real quick, I don't like bullies. I don't like bullies at all. If I see somebody getting bullied, I'll probably be the one to stand up and be like, look here, pick on me. I'm that type. So Lil Daddy seen that, man, and he locked in on it. So one day we on the yard, and he showed me a picture of his sister. And to see if I liked it. Come to find out, he been running this game on hella people. But, you know, I bet, because he calling himself my little brother now. So, I bite. I'm like, man, hook me up with your sister, man. She kind of dicking things. So, he tell me to write her a letter. So, I'm writing letters. He telling me she got them, and she said something, and it's a letter in the mail. Her birthday come around. I get a call. I go to the canteen and buy 2 cards for her. I'm trying to knock her because I ain't got no female. At all, so I'm feeling kind of lonely. Motherfuckers going on visits and shit. You know, I'm stuck watching sports and shit. So anyhow, my mom, man, and on the side note, man, my homie Yovan, that nigga, that man, his grandma Edna, rest in peace. I got an Edna, was like, Edna, I ain't had no woman, man. What am I doing wrong? She said, baby, don't worry. The right woman will find you. Okay, so she found me and lassoed me. But anyhow, back to the story. So, Lil Daddy, man, I'm like, man, what's up, man? You going on visits? And she said, yeah, my sister coming. So he got me telling my mama, come up here on this day because his sister's coming out, and I'm trying to link up with him and his sister. So anyhow, man, I come out there one day, and he ain't out there the day he was supposed to be out there. He wasn't out there. So when I go back to the building, like, what's up, man? He act like he on the phone going crazy talking to whoever he talking to. And I should have seen that was fishy then, that he was putting extras on it. I should have seen it. But I wasn't tripping then, because I'm you know, this little bro. And, you know, I'm a loyal motherfucker. Once I call you bro, you bro. So anyhow, so we move in the cell together. Man, I say not even a week into the cell, right? Man, why was I cleaning up the cell? Man, I'm doing it too. I got hella shit. I got, man, 4 boxes, I got like 2 boxes of food, 2 boxes of canteen, 2 TVs, 2 Super 3s, equalizers hooked to the Super 3. Super 3 is like a boom box type of thing. But I got a Sony boom box with an Iowa TV. I got a handheld TV and somebody TV up under the bunk that owed me some money. I got fans. I got metal hot pots because we was cooking Man, we was cooking fat shit up in that thing. We was cooking fried fish. My fried fish tastes like chicken in that them deep metal hot pots we had up in that thing. All right, hella shit. So, anyhow, man, one day this motherfucker at work, right? And I just happened to be cleaning up. I'm on the top bunk because he was there first. I'm cleaning up down behind his TV. Why did I find a motherfucking birthday card that I sent to his sister? I think my whole life changed. My whole life changed when I found that card. And for the record, I don't even drink beer. But this celebration, because I got my L's, bitch. But, so, I found this card, and the motherfucking, it was the birthday card that I sent to his sister. So I was like, what the fuck? This dude been playing me the whole time. The whole time. So, man, I pull his box out from under his bed. I'm like, motherfucker. So I start going through his shit. Man, I found every motherfucking letter I wrote his sister. Every letter I wrote his sister. Ah, man. The emotions. So, I'm going to let y'all figure out what happened. All I know, I'm going to tell you the end result. He came back from work. Let's see. He came back from work, and he ended up on the top bunk, and I took the bottom bunk after I scratched him a little bit. I ain't gonna say I stabbed him, but I scratched him. I scratched him and threatened him and all that shit. But when he turned into a hoe, my aggression was gone. Like, oh man, this is a little bitch. She gonna tell on me too anyway. So this nigga sold me this dream. What I didn't know was that he was bipolar. I heard of bipolar, moods and switching and all that. But bipolar, when you out of touch with reality, I did not know nothing about that. Fake, you make up fake characters and all that shit. I didn't know nothing about that, man. So I was caught off guard, man. I was hurt. That's the first time I was really, really hurt like that. Motherfucker played me. And then everybody in the yard didn't even fuck with Lil Daddy like that until they see me fucking with him. So then when he did that, I was in a position where I couldn't even say nothing to the homies because this nigga didn't play me. So anyhow, man. So then about 3 weeks later, that's when the motherfucking police come to the cell, and I go take them on a high-speed chase and all that. So then, from the high-speed chase, then I told you I went on suicide watch. First, I went on potty watch, and they didn't get nothing from me, remember, because I ate the little shit that I had. And then from potty watch, I went to suicide watch. Remember the first time they tried to hit me with the second time they hit me with the needle, and we tussled in the motherfucking thing. Then I went on the suicide watch. Then I went on my journey, right? Then when I came back, they put me on the yard. Like me and Lil Daddy was Sellies on the 2 yard. Now they come back, and I'm on the 1 yard. And I told myself, I asked about Lil Daddy. He said, Lil Daddy in the other building. I said, oh, nigga. He is? Lil Daddy. He is? Oh, yes. So, that very next morning, when that door opened, first of all, he kept ducking me for about 2 days. There's 2 chow halls in Solano. So when your building comes, they'll put you in one, and then the next building comes, they put you in the other. Then the first come, first leave. So what I did, I had to, because if I figured out what he was doing, he was getting his chow and going back to the building hella fast. So what I did is I just said, fuck that chow, and I just waited for him outside the chow hall. So he had his cousin Roline with him. Cause I don't know if Roline knew or not. But as soon as that nigga came out the chow hall, I was running. Full speed trying to get that nigga. They looked at me running after him and joined the chase. Like, what this nigga running chasing this nigga for? So the homies ended up getting in the middle of us. I'm trying to swing on this nigga around the homies. We just sidestepping around the homies. I'm trying to swing on him. And then his cousin was like, his cousin said, man, what's going on? I told him, man, when I went to the hole in that other yard, that nigga Lil Daddy took all my shit. All I had was a box and a motherfucking fan, a box of my legal documents and my fan. There was no food, no cosmetics, no radios, no TVs. He took everything. So his cousin said, look, Man, I'll pay for it. Whatever he took, I'll pay for it. I said, but that nigga got some of my shit in his cell right now. Right now. So I made that nigga, we walked to the building, that nigga got his cell open, nigga, I walked in his cell with him. I unplugged my shit. That nigga had my Iowa TV. That motherfucker had he had my boombox on, prettied up with his name on it and shit. I was, matter of fact, he had cosmetics on his shelf too. I took all them just on GP. This is mine. And he had to pay me, he paid me canteen like 4 or 5 months. I mean, not even 4 or 5 months, like 3 months until I ended up getting into the police that I got the staff assault on the female. She realized I was back on that yard. First off, I wasn't supposed to be back in that pen. If you get a staff assault, you're not supposed to be gone. I mean, you're not supposed to be back. This bitch was back not only was she there, but she was on the yard that they put me on. So I'm walking by her with my beanies all low, trying to be incognito. And then one day I was at work, and they called me down from the hill to the program office. I knew it was all bad. They called me in. Man, they put me in the motherfucking cage. They was like, yeah, Valdez found out you was back, and she don't think she's safe here. So you gotta go. Oh, man. But anyhow. So I think I'm sure I seen Lil Daddy at Folsom, but I didn't speak to him because the pain was too raw. So about 3 years later, I'm at Vacaville, and I see Lil Daddy in the kitchen. This nigga once I seen him, I was trying to decide, I'm about to go home in a year and a half. Do I kill on this nigga or not? Because he in a wheelchair. This is how karma gets you. This motherfucker Lil Daddy was in a wheelchair, and his legs had swelled up. This motherfucker got elephantitis. Elephantitis. His motherfucking legs was like this. I'm talking about like this. So he was on the yard one day, and then somebody said, Lil Daddy want to talk to you. Man, I went over there. I came over there to him in his wheelchair. I said, I know you can't possibly think in a million years that it was about to be a good reception. Motherfucker, you hurt me more than anybody ever in prison. And you think I'm about to come over here and it's going to be fine? Man. And I went in on him until he was crying. Then next thing you know, it was yard recall. And I told that nigga, you push your motherfucking self back to the building. Because, man, fuck you. I'm gone. Anyhow, that's what happened to Lil Daddy, man. That's what happened to that motherfucker stole my shit. Anyway, 30 Weather, appreciate y'all. Gone. Man, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest, man. I gotta be honest. Sometimes, like I say, sometimes you victorious in your story, sometimes you lose. Shit. I got punked by the white boy. Yep. Sure did. That was a hard pill to swallow too. Cause I didn't even realize I got punked. I didn't even know. Shit. I learned afterwards though. Cause we in the branch, RBF. We in the lockdown side. It is a long row of cells on each side of the hallway. Long row. You be bad stuff happening to you back there in the back. Cause the police walk back down them roads like once every hour. You be back there dead. But anyhow, so I'm an RBF. And we young, man. We young niggas. We loud. It's like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I ain't gonna lie, we loud, we throwing shit, we horse playing, we wild in our tank. But like I said, it's a long hallway, the tank's on both sides. So next thing you know, man, in the tank across from us, this little ass white boy, I'm talking about, this little ass white boy could have been no taller than like 5'4". But this white boy walked to the bar and said, hey man, y'all being hella loud and disrespectful. If y'all got, and if you need to cut that shit out. If you got a problem with it, you can see me on the yard. I was like, I looked around. I was like, all right. I went and got on the belt, right? I didn't think nothing of it. I went and got on the bunk. Man, shit. That next motherfucking yard, man, this nigga look like Suge Knight. I'm talking about, they call him Big Hank. That nigga look like Suge Knight, easy, but like 6'6". He didn't even have no neck. he in the tank with the white boy that said that to us. So Hank like, youngster, come here. So I come over there, he said, don't you ever let no white boy talk to you like that. Don't let no other race talk to you like that. That was disrespectful. He called you out. He called you out. Then he called another dude over there. He was like, hey man, what'd happen if a white boy or somebody say another race say something to you like that, call you out, tell them meet you on the yard? Dude was like, oh yeah, this about to go down. This about to go down. Yeah. Oh yeah, we about to, yeah, hell yeah, we about to tear this motherfucker up. Yeah, let's go down. So they looked at me again and said, youngster, don't you ever forget that. And then he walked off. I was standing there like, damn, I just got some real life game. That mean a white boy punked me. Damn. That won't happen again. That won't happen again. But anyhow, that was a lesson. That was a quick county jail lesson. Gone. Man, rest my grandma's soul, man. But one time, man, my grandma set me smooth up. See, y'all be thinking because y'all grandmas is older and stuff that they ain't got moved, like they ain't slick, or they won't set you up. Man, I had a stealing problem when I was younger. I used to steal from my grandma. My grandma leave her coin purse, and I go in that thing, man, I pluck like $5, $10 or something. You know, I try not to be too greedy about it, but I was plucking from grandma regularly, and she would give me probably anything I asked for too, but I was plucking. So then, one time I go in there, I'm thinking grandma watching TV, you know, walk by the room, and grandma walk off somewhere. So I strike. I go in there, open the coin purse. Man, she had $5 left. $5. Man, what you know, I yoinked it. $5. Man, I say about 10 minutes later, my grandma called me in there so politely. Curtis, go out there and get a switch. It was like she just changed. I just felt it. Like I thought I was good. Hi, grandma. She said, go out there and get a switch. I just felt all the hair raise up. And it was like a fear wave just went down me because I know this ain't the same grandma no more. She didn't change. Man, she said, go out there and get a switch. Man, my grandma must have picked me up. I mean, my little legs was dangling. They was just dangling. She picked me up with that switch. My grandma beat me in a circle. That was my last $5, you know. So it was every hit was last $5. And I had never got whooped by my grandma either. Man, after that, I didn't have a stealing problem no more. Fat meat was greasy. Grandma, she gonna go crazy. I wouldn't even take no candy, no soda. I ain't even drinking the Kool-Aid without asking grandma after that one. Shocked my little world. Dirty what? Go. I said, gone. On top of that, one time, I should have went to breakfast on time. I should have, but I was lagging. That's what happened. I was lagging. So I'm one of the last people off the tier. So I go get my breakfast. So I'm coming back. I'm getting ready to go to work. It's about 8 in the morning. The last people coming out of the chow hall. All of a sudden I hear, I look up, they thumping. All I know is it's blacks and whites. That's all I know. So I run down there. I run to the incident. I get on the first white boy I seen. The first one. You know, because you ain't gonna pick and choose, just white. Whatever white get. Because it's on. It's a riot, obviously. So as I'm getting on this white boy, I look up and my same partner, he right there by my side. This same homie from junior high in the pen, the same homie I saved, is side by side with me, putting in work. Only fucked up thing is he didn't move it. He was right. He got his shit and got on like he was supposed to. I stayed in and got to keep it on and shit. And they sprayed me in the corner and out the corner with that motherfucking pepper spray. So then here's the fucked up thing. What happens is a white boy came, and when you a white boy and you like a gang member or something like that, back then it was a green light. Them skinheads will figure out which kamikaze ones they gonna send, and they gonna get on you. And white Crips, yes, they was getting on white Crips. White Bloods, I don't know. It was something about White Bloods that they didn't really fuck with, because White Bloods was not turning shit down. They couldn't. From the hood all the way to the pen, they couldn't turn shit down. So I don't know. It was like they didn't really fuck with the White Bloods, but some of them they did. Some of them they did. So then what happened is, we'll know. Like if a white gang member hit the yard, the whole yard, all the blacks gonna know, oh yeah, this one here, we're gonna watch out for him. And we're gonna make sure we're gonna observe and see if they surrounded them or anything like that. And everybody know, and then because it's inevitable. It's gonna happen.
Man, Young Dirt here, man. So, man, I appreciate my subscribers, man. They're getting deeper, man. I haven't been posting as much as I, like every day on it, but I'm gonna keep it steady. So, this story right here. So you got a lot of dudes in prison, right? They think because they fighting all the time. Like I get out and I fight this nigga. You got niggas that fight like quick as a motherfucker, and they always get their ass beat. But a motherfucker gonna respect somebody like that versus somebody who talk it and ain't gonna back it up. At least that motherfucker gonna take the ass whooping because he gonna go. But to them other talkers that think because they fight, that they the hardest motherfucker on the yard, hell nah. You got people walking around the yard, don't say nothing to nobody. They don't even bother nobody, but let you do something to them. And you're going to be like, damn, I didn't fuck with the devil. Because people be trapped inside their own insanity, and you disturb them from that insanity, and boy. So, when somebody come up to me and they talk tough in prison, we're talking about prison, because I'm a changed person from how I used to be. I tell you, if you ain't ever wrote a letter home to your mom because you in a situation that you don't know if you gonna make it up out of, then you ain't been to the max in there. Like you just going through day to day. But max, I'm gonna describe what the max is. Y'all done already heard the war story with the blood and Crip riot. Well, this is part 2. So anyhow, when they take us back in the cells and shit, right? Me and my cellie, we again, when the traumatic shit be happening in the pen sometimes, you end up not talking to your cellie for days because y'all be in y'all thoughts. So what happened is, shit, motherfucker just done stabbed up some shit. So he like, man, why we on lockdown? Remember, blood, Crip riot. Now we on lockdown. The IE Crips, the IEs function different. In Inland Empire, they function different. They function Bloods and Crips together. So they are forcing themselves, because if you know your history, I was on some Rescue Wood 911 shit real. But I'ma die. Anyhow. So the way IE functions, they a tight-knit community. You best with wood, you gotta best with a ball. So anyhow, the dude from IE comes, but he's a blood. But he really used to be with the Dago car. That's where he's supposed to be from. But this dude got problems with Marcelli, and Marcelli is from San Diego. He's from Lincoln. That's Marcelli. He go, I go. So, man, this dude, he sends over a kite because he got problems with Marcelli. I'm just telling Marcelli, I'm going to give y'all the fast version too. I'm going to just tell you this. When dude came around the pod, man, we asked the seller, the homie, how big is this nigga? The homie said, oh, he a little nigga.
Man, when that nigga came in the pot, he came in like this. But I looked at my celly, I was like, man, we gonna have to jump here. Straight up. We gonna have to jump here. So, next thing you know, the only way we can make this happen is during a cell move, because we on lockdown for the Blood and Crip ride. So we gotta do this in the cell move. So we holler at the IEs and let them know what's up, because he function with them too. And they like, they ain't saying nothing. So we thinking we got, and plus me and my son are cool with them. So we thinking we got the green light. So in the midst of all of this, we're getting kites under the door from Crips on the yard. We gonna kill you. We gonna kill you. We know what y'all do. We gonna kill you as soon as these doors open. But the IEs ain't really in that. They ain't in that. But now this is taking place, and now they about to be in it too. And in our building, it's like 8 cells upstairs and 8 cells. I mean, in my pod, 8 cells up, 8 cells down. So in this pod, if you want to go to the yard, and you gotta go to the right, all them cells is IE, all of them. But where the other homie that got the problem with my celly, he had the other pod, so we didn't know how he looked. That's why when he came in like this, we was like, oh shit, we gonna have to jump this nigga. So anyhow, what ended up happening is we do the fake cell move. The homie lock him out, meaning like he just said he can't come back in the cell. So I said, you can come to my cell, it's all good. So when they're doing the cell move, me and Money Michael's gonna get them. They got problems from some street shit that happened. They ain't supposed to come to the people, but they got their own problems. But it didn't matter, this my son. So when we're doing the cell move, I got Money Mike shit. Well, no, I'm grabbing some of Money Mike shit. And they cuff Money Mike up, so automatically it's gonna be me and this big ass nigga. So Money Mike, he start moving his shit. He grab his last bag, because he the one that's moving to the other cell. When Money Mike grab his bag, he go to there, he say, blood, it ain't even gonna happen. I said, blood, if I say it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I grabbed his Quran, walked out on a tear to the nigga that was moving in the cell with me, because I can't have this nigga step in the cell with me. He might beat my ass in this cell. So I got to do what I got to do. So I got a Quran. I walk up to him, hand him the Quran, and then I said, oh, this is my cellies. As soon as he took it, I got on him. Bing, 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 bing. I hit him with the left. Bam. He go to his knees. When he go to his knees, he grabbed me. Bam. And he picked me up. And he walked me to the rail. And he set me on top of the rail. And we on the upstairs. So he's trying to push me off the tier. This dude is like, he about like 5'8", 5'9", but solid 200. I'm 5'11", but I'm about a buck 60, buck 65. So him picking me up, that really wasn't shit. But he had my ass cheeks on the rail, the top rail, and I was leaning back, about to go. I had one foot hooked on the rail, bam, then the other foot was about to start going. And right before the other one slipped, the police sprayed him, bam. When they sprayed him, man, I shimmied up off of them rails and got to getting them some more. Bam, bam. Man, and they sprayed me. They sprayed me. I told this story before, but I'm really telling it to freshly, because some of y'all that haven't heard it. But they got this orange shit. Pepper spray back in the days used to be clear. Then they switched to some shit in like 2000, 2001, 2-ish. It's orange agent citrus something. But that shit, man, they sprayed me with that shit, and I had braids. Man, they sprayed me with that shit, and my nuts was on fire. I was in the shower 3 days later, showering, and my nuts went back on fire because that shit was still in my hair. But when they hit me with it, man, I was on the ground saying, please cuff me up. Please cuff me up, begging to get cuffed up, because that shit had me on fire. So here goes some game for you. If you ever get pepper sprayed, so I'm in the tank trying to put water in my eyes and shit,
And then the police come by. He got pepper sprayed too, because the bitch sprayed him. The police that sprayed me, his partner sprayed him on accident. So he was fucked up too. But I'm in this motherfucker on fire. This motherfucker coming the thing with his bag. He ready to go home. His shit red and puffy, but he ready to go home. He can see fine. I'm like, what the fuck? And I asked him later. He said, baby shampoo. If you ever get pepper spray, baby shampoo, I guess it absorbs whatever's in your pores hella fast. That's just some game that they told me. But anyhow, these motherfuckers came back about a week later. These motherfuckers charged me with battery on a motherfucking inmate. They come to the door. They like, Williams, yeah, you getting ready to go to the hole? I'm like, for what? So the story is, he stepped in the cell, and I beat him down a tier, and that was that. So he charged me with assault, man. That was crazy. So they ended up coming get me, and I ended up going to the hole. Part 2 will be about the summer. Gone. I said gone. Oh yeah, divorce court next month. Check me out. Dirty weather. Gone.
Since day one, we've been on the move. Hustling and holding things, that's how we move.
Turn me up in the headphones. This that shit. I ain't country, I'm a city boy. Man, what's happening with my subscribers, man? I appreciate y'all, man. I see that. I see when I drop videos, you know, the views go up a little bit faster than they used to. I mean, people still tuning in, man. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Weird guy, where you at, weird guy? You ain't been saying nothing, man. Shouts out to Scott, man. Shouts out to Scott. Shouts out to the homies that's tuning in, right? So, this story right here about this video y'all just watched. Well, I'm gonna give y'all some details, right? So I was in Tracy. This is when I was in Tracy in 2017, summertime, right? So I work in the kitchen. I work in the kitchen in the morning and the night. Morning and the night. That's not too. You don't see too many people pulling that off, where you're working 2 jobs in reception of all places. So anyhow, I'm walking down the hallway getting ready to go to work, and I see these police whispering and shit. They keep whispering, and they holding out phones, and they looking. I'm like, man, something ain't right, man. This must have been something happened, 9/11 or something. I don't know. So when I get to work, I see what they talking about. So somebody, I'm in J wing. Well, in G wing, somebody then threw somebody over the tier. I'm talking about. Threw him off the tier. Got in a fight, threw him over the tier, right? So I'm like, damn, all right, you know, fight over the tier. But they like, no, somebody recorded it and put it online, and it went viral all in one night. So in the morning when I'm coming to work, I'm seeing the aftermath like, damn. So then we go to the yard. We find out it was the homie Gotti. This motherfucker that recorded, he ain't the homie really like that. I ain't gonna lie. He went ugly. But he didn't record the motherfucking thing with his phone, right? So by the time they had this yard, they didn't already hit his cell and got the phone and everything. When that shit went viral, they was at his door. Got his shit, right? So what happened is this. The white boy that went over the tier, his name is Dewey. Yeah, Dewey. So Dewey, he gets tossed over the tier for whatever reason. I don't know why. But it's a lot of foul shit the white boys be doing in reception though. But they threw him over the tier, right? Dewey survived. He got like a broken back, some spleen issues. But this motherfucker Dewey, he didn't move from after he done got through over the tier, went viral and all that. First thing that the white boys was saying is like, our homie
recorded that shit and it went viral, so they want us to discipline them. Hell no. We're not doing that. Even though, you know what, thinking back, you know, maybe shit might have been different, but just ain't no other race about to just force our hand and make us do that. So we kind of had to, you know, kind of stand our ground. Even though, you know, they got rules in the pen, like right now, they got rules in the pen where if you record a felony in progress and you post it online yourself or something like that, man, you about to be on the menu. You probably about to get an issue. So that's rules that are and that have been implemented in prison when it comes to people with phones and recording felonies. But back then in 2017, you know, it was kind of like shocking to us all. This motherfucker then posted something that went viral, like that. So anyhow, they didn't move Dewey from G Wing to into my wing. Dewey all right. He all right. I watched this motherfucker Dewey go from a wheelchair. All of a sudden, he done nursed himself, you know, back to health. He was the head wood in charge before. Now he's not the head wood in charge, but he's still on the yard. So that tells you something about somebody that got thrown off the tier. You still on the yard. After you got thrown off the tier, you must be a little something. You know, you must got your thing must hold a little water. So we thought. So one day we on the yard, right? Remember, Dewey didn't go to the hole after this. He went from wheelchair, nursed himself back in the cell. Man, we look up, right? And then Tracy, man, I'm gonna keep it 100. The PCs, because they go out separate from us. Man, every time them motherfuckers go to the yard, the goddamn yard goes down. I done been in motherfucking canteen, stuck in canteen for like 4 hours because the PCs then went to the main yard and tore some shit up. That's just, you know, you might think PCs is soft or whatever. Shit. Them motherfuckers in Tracy going crazy. Crazy. I remember one time I was waiting for a visit. They had me in the wing part. That like the wings, like they have a room outside the wings, like a waiting room or whatever. Man, they had me in that motherfucker, and the PCs come walking by. They come walking by, man. I was banged. They was banging on me, throwing up gang signs, and I'm looking at the other white boy who he a motorcycle white boy, one of them types. And I'm looking at him, and he looking at me. He was like, "You just throw Hellcat or something?" Because we trying to figure out, man, we the ones that's GP, but these S and Ys is banging on us kind of hard. Like I know if the window wasn't there, the motherfucking S and Ys would be trying to holler at me about something. So therefore, I mean that's just a side note on Tracy. So. Anyhow, one day we on the yard. Man. It be in reception, it be hella different shit going on. Motherfuckers doing hella different scandalous ass shit, taking motherfuckers' phones, motherfuckers coming with bad word. It's all type of shit going on. So, man, what you know, one day we on the yard, man. We on the yard. Yard go down. Motherfuckers fighting. Tracy yards hella big. I'm talking about Tracy probably got one of the biggest yards in CDC. So, motherfucker is fighting way on the other side of the yard. Tracy's so big, when the police come running out from inside the prison, by the time they get to the yard, they just start walking. Because it's hella far. I'm talking about, they just, by the time they hit the yard, they got their hands on their hips just walking, because it's too much to run from the unit you in all the way to the yard. So if you fighting on the far corner of the yard, your ass is in trouble in Tracy. So, man, the dude is fighting way over clear in the corner of the yard, right? So the police run to there. And they situating that situation. I think it was like a 1-on-1 or 2-on-1. So the yard down, man. We get ready to go in, so we think, right? And we look up. We see 3 white. Remember, the yard is down. We look up and we see 3 white boys. These white boys is running across the yard. I'm talking about Tracy's yard. It's so slow. I mean, so big. They was running across the yard in slow motion. So we looking at these white boys like, what is they running for? Is they coming to get us? Man, these white boys running across the yard to go get do it. To go get do it. So when they finally caught up to do it, the broke out of the yard from the alarm by itself. When they caught up to do it, so Dewey didn't nurse himself back and just rolling off some tears to where he got a little bit of mobility. Man, when they got to Dewey, Dewey must have stood up and got the foot out. He's got tripping. All three of these white boys. Big one, an old one, a young one, and he's doing his stuff. So I mean, the fight for his motherfucker, so I mean, the mama's gonna cry when she see you at the top. You gonna succumb. So the oldest motherfucker that was under my clock, I found motivation. That motherfucker didn't desire. I think he ate stuck my head out the ground. He like premature seed. And he just, I think he melted, but he grabbed me. It's lonely at the top of the pyramid. Once we seen Dewey go down, by the ones who dead on top of Dewey, it was over. It was over. But the police is so hell the other side of the yard, taking care of the other fight. So it took him hell long to get over there to help. Poor dude gets smushed and stomped at the same time. But hey, that's the inside look on that story right there. We didn't discipline the homie that recorded that shit. But hey, it is what it is. 30 was gone. Man, don't play with me. I said gone.
Me and my young life got the full clip. We'll tell you what it is. Break your pockets, send out your jeans. Put your dope in your bag. And dance to that fucking cool gate. Look from big hoe for a player. I'm getting money out of pockets, but game never wrong shut. I put it on the blade and make power moves.
Drunk, dead, out my body in the club, sweating buckets, freaking like I'm in the 90s on high risk parole, so my eyes on the dope. I've been making power moves since my feet hit the floor. You got hustle, yeah I know, I'm the married party stack. When my mama move, I move. That's just that. I get money, bet that. Cross line, bet back. Like I'm back at Bird Bay. Get lunch, token that. Got licks, so many of them smile and get close. Wish I could put it in eyes and put a toast to them. Been me since I met me. And that was hella time, Swiss like hella G's. And did hella years, so I'm cool with hella G's.
Tryna beat life cause I can't cheat death. 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 Tryna beat life cause I can't cheat death.
I did 17 years, homie. Real tears on these words, homie. Hit skate baloney push-ups and hella top rhyme and hella notebooks with all my rhymes. It's like a map book from where I started. Ciphering, trying to be the hardest of the yard. Some of the hardest rappers gotta never day. We never heard they mama, we'll never see they say. I feel blessed, so I'm rocking my loved ones. I left behind good count times and cold lunch. Yeah, mama, I'm on one. I'm free, ain't no words of expressions. See my son, that's real, no fake shit. You would could be seen that it moves with space shit. Game made heartbreaking. Living in reality, being 30 with some kid shit. Damn. They like 50 and they can live or better. Boy.
Tryna beat life cause I can't cheat death. 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 Tryna beat life cause I can't cheat death.
Death. Death. This lighting sucks, huh? What a day! I can say. So let me address this first off top. Working this shit, I see how you have to combine, like you gotta manage your time. It's time management. That is what's important when you're working and doing social media. So today, while I was at work, I was graced with the presence to see Dub's premiere 30's video. Pretty good. That's what's up. Shout out Dubs, man. Shout out Dubs. Appreciate that. But you already know, with a lot of love come hate. A lot of love come hate. So all y'all that's hating up in the comments, fuck y'all. If you are hating on Dirty for speaking facts, fuck you. They quickly be like, oh, you hate. Shit, oh, you hate. It's all good. Shout out to all the new subscribers, though. We got a lot of new subscribers. I'm telling you. I had just made it over like 7,700 or 7,800. Next thing you know, shit, I'm about to be eyeballing 79 and we're going to be knocking on 8,000. Put some respect on our name, though, even though it should have been that way. But still, put some respect on our name, though. Dirty Nation been here from the beginning. But a lot of people that don't know that we've been here from the beginning, they be hating like we just came out of nowhere. Let me see something. I'm thoroughly confused. Hey, Chance, I am thoroughly confused about this here. But we're going to solve this now. Chance, I appreciate you always.
Cars and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You take care of every family member. And I want to keep that gifted giving going because you know what? These things that we have in this earth, they're only possessions. We can't take them with you when you die, bro. They don't make you who you are, bro. Your soul. Can't take the money or nothing. Makes you who you are. Yeah. Can't take none of it with you. Oh, that is what actually smoke coming, so they're all right with that. Oh, yeah. That tells me it could be dirty weather.
Yeah, but I'm live, so I can't say too much.
What the fuck? How do you like that? How do you like that? Look. Oh, I did. Okay. I'll be right there.
Dirty Nation, baby. Dirty Nation, baby.
You too. I'll be right there. I'm coming, dude. Oh, I got a notification here. You must have unblocked me.
I did shit.
I didn't believe. I knew you wasn't black because I ain't black shit.
What?
I knew you wasn't blocked.
Yeah, but Oops is blocked. You need to unblock them.
Oh, I ain't able to do that. I gotta end the live to do that. I will. Christy Luciano, what's happening, man?
What's up with it?
What's going on, man?
Oh, man, send mines. Blessings to you and the family, brother.
Oh, man, thank you. Hey, guess what happened? So I take Sade to go shopping. I just wanted her to get a pajama suit because it seems like pajamas is back in style. Have you noticed that?
What is?
Pajama pants, like the pajama outfits. They're like back in style again. So I told Sade, go get some, right? She said, they don't have any that I like, but I got 2 pair of shorts. I said, how much are they? She said, they're 11 and 11. Oh, really? We only came to the store for some cookies. She said she wanted cookies. Well, by the time we left the store, oh, man, all the money I had in my pocket, and I had to pull out a credit card. Hey, little girls be taxing us, don't they?
Yep.
It's like they happiness, them being happy makes our day complete. And it feels good to say, like, go on and get it. Go on and get it. But damn, when I left that store, I felt thoroughly taxed. What's up, bro? I just heard about you over on Jay Williams' channel. Really? Really? Well, that's what's up. Hey, so Nico, tell me about some of your life, man. Tell me something positive.
Oh, man. I can't call it like an alcoholic, but, you know, the only thing I can say, you know, is don't give up. You know, when it gets ugly, man, just go through the mud. And when you get up, when you get through, you know what I'm saying, just clean yourself up and you'll feel better. You know, I have some stuff going on, and I'll talk to you about it later, but yeah, just to everybody out there, man, don't give up. Don't stress yourself out,
man,
over this world, over these problems, trying to make other people happier, trying to impress people. You know what I'm saying? Just live your life, stay in your lane, and move how you move. You know what I'm saying? A small circle is a good circle. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And a trustworthy circle.
I would say, I would agree 100.
Versus an envious circle or jealous circle. You know what I'm saying? So,
man, you know, remember what I always say about jealousy, right?
Good.
You remember what I always say about it? Like literally, I came up not understanding jealousy. Like, I don't understand it. I can't even tell when somebody jealous. I can't, because I don't swim in them waters. Like, so I don't really know what jealousy look like. And every time I encounter it, I'm literally blindsided.
That's right.
We say Dubs is supposed to be dropping another video with you in it. He already did it. He dropped it this morning. 10 o'clock. All he did was he played my whole video. King 148 James, did you really eat the weed that was in your booty?
Shit.
Hey, King James, I understand you wanted me to like spot you, and it's all good. But everybody, they mama know dirty ate shit weed. Everybody know that. That is not. If you've been in that situation, or you know about that situation, and
That was a no-brainer. There's a lot of people that have been in that situation. If they knew or had the know-how, the knowledge to overcome, and all they had to do was eat, there was a lot of people that probably would have ate right along with me.
You ain't the like. I'm sure there's other people that ate kites before. I think you know what I mean. You trying to secure something and you got to get rid of it. They probably swallowed that moment.
Oh man, a shit kite is a dinner man.
Yeah,
that's a dinner man.
Gone, huh?
Man, that's one swallow, but shit, we eat a shit covered ounce. Hey, you gotta turn your mouth into a machine.
Hey, but you know, once you're there, you gotta go because, like you said, the consequences of that were severe.
Yeah,
so,
hell
you know
yeah.
What I mean, at that time, and then you know the situation with Neff. So
yeah,
it was other things in motion, right?
I see my little brother often, and I'm reminded of the sacrifice that I made for him. And guess what? I would do it again with 2 times as much.
Yeah, you know, bro. Yeah, it's a lot. I've seen somebody else do some stuff like that, and you better be able to hold your fucking mud. You know what I'm saying? And this person got fucking ice cold water running through their veins. You know what I'm saying? And they were able to wiggle out of a tight situation, and it changed their life. And yeah, they ain't never gonna go to a visit like that ever again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
man.
Too much to this. And it's a family, and like when you realize, like, yeah, you know, because people are in tough situations and predicament with money, and somebody thinks that they can bust a move or a wiggle, and it doesn't really go right if you're not laced up 100%, and you just don't have that in you. You got to have that in you, and you got to get laced up, and you got to beat the fucking system.
Man, we call it fumbling. I done seen so many fumbleia moves over the years. I done seen people get their moms caught up, their girls caught up, their wives caught up, their sisters caught up.
Yep.
Fumbling in the visiting room.
And on the phone, too. That's how they get you.
Oh, yeah. Burner,
with
definitely.
The jack. They try to get me like that one time because I was using the jack, using the burner, and then I used the house phone.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, you ain't calling me for what you call it? Yeah. Hang up.
Busted.
Hang up. Right then and there. You know what I mean? So before they can say nothing, as soon as the conversation gone left, hang that thing up quick. You know?
Man, I would say, man, a lot of things that police use in here, we be thinking they got high-tech shit. And they ain't got nothing but resident snitches and people that's fumbling. I'm gonna give you an example. In one building, right, in Old Folsom, man, they was running drills on everybody that had phones, right? Like we trying to figure out who's in the circle that's dropping a dime on all of us, right? I come in, they done been in my cell at dinner time trying to find the shit, right? And so finally, when I got the job at the work gate, where I seen every police literally that came on the yard, I literally asked him, like, man, because his name was like Beckworth or something like that. Beckman, Becksmith, Beckworth. But he was banging people. And I asked him, like, man, how was you banging people? Because he didn't work in that building no more. He was like, man, it's simple. You guys give us all the information. So I asked further, like, what you mean, man? Because you didn't lap circles. So what happens is they hit a loose-ass motherfucker cell, get his cell phone. This motherfucker think he on the streets, so he's saving everybody's motherfucking name and nickname in his phone because he's calling hella people on the inside. So they take your contact list and run down that motherfucker like a Christmas shopping list. That's how he was catching motherfuckers. We thought it was some high-tech ass shit, cameras, shit in the microphones in the vents. We thought all type of shit. All the while, man, just they catching motherfuckers slipping and going through their contact list.
Yeah, that's a cold move right there. Was a currency in the state was like, did you guys have tunas and macros? Was that used as currency or like stamps? Or what was like the currency? Did it vary from yard to yard?
I mean, canteen is canteen. Stamps is good like in the hole and shit. And stamps was good back in the days when we wanted to order like smut mags and shit. But nowadays, like the currency is still green dot, vanilla reload. It used to, I remember back in the days though, currency used to be a mail out. Like they used to have to call their folks and tell them to mail a money order into you.
I don't know how they do it now, but back then you can paper sheet money out. You know what I'm saying? Off your books, but I didn't know nothing about no green dot. I never even used no green dot. I have no clue what that is.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But
because
with the guys.
See what it was is it. Hey,
Dirt, you famous now, nigga. This nigga famous, God.
Whatever do you mean?
This nigga got other channels taking videos with you in it. I said, oh shit.
Whatever do you mean?
Said he Nash gonna be giving you a call in a minute. Cut him 6 O's to be on your neck, nigga.
Ooh, hey. Ooh, hey, cousin, them gonna be hollering at me.
Hey, said he niggas gonna be hollering at you.
Hey, said he gonna be like, I got the Sacramento chapter. I'll handle that.
What's good with you, man? How you been?
Shit, working.
Here we go.
Hey, working with a broken feather.
Ooh, what the fuck happened
there?
Remember that video with my dad?
Where you hit the home run?
Yeah. Remember I was like, when I hurt my wrist, I didn't know that I had really, really hurt it.
That's why I don't play softball anymore. But the last time I played softball, I broke my fucking leg sliding into the base, and my leg got hooked. The bag didn't pop out. My body kept going. That motherfucker just twisted my ankle. Like, got my shit. I'm done. You better be stretching. You better stretch, man.
I mean, it take mechanics to run the base. Literally.
So, man, them softball fields ain't like a regular baseball field, though. Them things is vicious. They got some divots.
Say again, yo.
I said, what, you slid?
Nah, I was going reaching to catch the ball, but the ball was in the same path as the runner. So I stuck my hand out. Shit, he hit my glove first.
Yeah. That shit bent your shit.
That sounds like a full-on fucking collision or a hyperextension.
Did it?
Yeah, when you do those, though, you kind of don't even really feel it. You feel it, but then after the game, you felt it, or did you feel it right when you did it? Because when I did it, I didn't feel that shit till the next day.
Shit. As soon as he did it, I was like, I'm done. I already knew it. Like, I'm done. Whatever just happened was too much for me. I'm done. I could barely get my glove off. So I sat next to Dad. Make it feel better, Dad.
How's Pops, man?
Oh, he good. Hey, shit. And I went out and played again, right? I didn't play the following week, but the week after that, I played with a broken wrist. Man.
Still playing on that shit up.
Yeah, but that's out, though, now. That's out. They going to the playoffs. I'm going to watch.
Oh, man.